Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. This month, get 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at $109 and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Hey, I got you something.
What's this?
Just a little Galentine's gift from JTV.
Do you mean jewelry television? I love their jewelry. They have the
New customers get $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Yeah, their artisan collections? Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
Oh, yeah. It's the pearl bracelet.
New customers receive $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace. Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Such a beautiful afternoon out there. Spring fever for sure. High temperatures in the mid-70s. We can tie a record high. It becomes cloudy overnight tonight with a low of 42. And tomorrow will be the exact opposite of today. Cloudy skies. It'll be chilly, a little wet. A high of only 49.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon is up 118 points to 44,540.
Three on two, it's Cooper to the rack, put it up, counted in a foul! It's an avalanche! Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits! A dagger at the buzzer! Faces up, backs him down, here's a double team, cross court, James a touch pass for a Knipple 3. Boy, they've started this half well. Paint back up top, James, plenty of top 12 to shoot. He'll drive, kick back up top, Tyrese a 3. Good!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. What's going on, everybody? UNC fans, how you feeling? We had our Monday sound off yesterday. Heard from some of you. Try to pay attention enough. Try to pay attention to what's going on in each fan base here in the Triangle. I can tell you, UNC fans aren't happy right now, and they shouldn't be. It's okay. You're allowed to be mad if you're UNC. You're allowed to be upset. I'm going to say something out loud here that's going to sting, and it should. UNC has been passed by the rest of the college basketball blue bloods, and they have to catch up. And they've been passed in one specific way. And here's the thing that I get the most mad about when I'm watching UNC this year and how they're operating and how they're talking and how their fans are talking and everything else. The thing I'm mad about is UNC has stopped acting like a blue blood. UNC should have the best of darn near everything for their men's basketball team. And I guess I just assumed that they thought that of themselves as well, but I guess not. Hubert Davis, their head coach, had his coach's show yesterday. And he said some things that shook me a little bit. And we're going to play that audio for you. But first, he was asked about Leonard Hamilton, the head coach of Florida State, been there for 23 years. He announced that at the end of this season he'd be retiring, and this is what Hubert had to say.
A head coach now is the owner, the general manager, the fundraiser, the coach, the
sure
recruiting, and it's a lot. And there's a lot of balls up in the air. And for these veteran coaches that have done it at a high level for a long time, it's very different. And I can understand the changes of collegiate sports and specifically college basketball resulting in changes in terms of who still wants to be a head coach or not.
Interesting way to look at it. Jones Angell, by the way, the host there, that coming from Tar Heel Radio Network, you started hearing him talk about like, oh, you're the recruiter and you're the fundraiser and you're the coach and you're the this and you're the that. And that sparked some thoughts because I'm going like, well. Yes, don't get me wrong. Coaches wear a lot of hats, but also there's positions that can help you with those sort of things. There's staffers that can help you with those sort of things. Hubert Davis continued with why he's going to increase his staff.
I am going to increase the staff, and it's needed. I never would have thought 4 years that I took the job that I'm 100%, what is needed is a general manager. There's just so much stuff out there, and I mentioned owner, GM, fundraiser, basketball coach. It's so much on the plate that'll take you away from doing what's the most important thing is coaching basketball.
You don't have a GM? That I knew they didn't, but having him say it as if like, oh, now we have to, now we're going to get one, really confused me. I know you don't like to be compared in this way. Duke has a GM. I know you don't like to be compared in this way. Your football team has a GM. I know you don't like to be compared in this way. Your women's basketball team has a GM. I know you don't like to be compared in this way. Darn near every major program out there has a GM. You had to wait for your second likely missed tournament in the last 3 years to go, all right, maybe we should do what everyone else should be doing. You're North Carolina. Get there first. That's not the only position they're going to add. Hubert, again, Tar Heel Radio Network, talking with Jones Angell. This is what he had to say.
We're going to hire a GM. We need, a director of marketing and fundraising for NIL, for program needs. There needs to be video coordinator with graphics and recruiting coordinator, all those different types of stuff that have to be built out, whether it's, from specific hires or grad students, but the old model for Carolina basketball just doesn't work. It's not sustainable. It has to build out because there's so many things in play with NIL, the transfer portal, agents, international players. You just need a bigger staff to be able to maintain things, and you need a bigger staff so I can do what I'm supposed to be doing, is that coaching basketball.
Whose fault is it that UNC doesn't already have all of that? Somebody to lead the fundraising, somebody to lead the recruiting, somebody to be the GM, somebody to be I don't care what you call them, director of this, manager of that. Why don't you have all of that is a question. Why did you try to do it the old school way? Right? They invented the power mower. Why are you out there with a scythe trying to chop away your lawn? Do what everyone else is doing, and matter of fact, do it first. As soon as it's legal, UNC do it. UNC is UNC. You're North Carolina gosh darn basketball. If somebody else has a resource, if somebody else has something better than you, you should be furious. And I don't get why blue bloods get defensive or get resistant to being blue bloods. What's the difference between North Carolina and a bottom half of the Big 12 team? It's resources. It's fandom. You have people buying your merch all over the country. That's money. You have resources. And if you don't use them, you might as well not be different.
Yeah, the logo and the colors don't mean everything anymore.
They don't. I'll tell you what they mean. You get the benefit of the doubt in some ways. I'll tell you what your colors mean. The Jerry West Award just put out their mid-season finalists, their mid-season watch list. 10 names. R.J. Davis is one of them. That's what your colors did. Because he hasn't had a Jerry West goes to the Jerry West Award, goes to the best shooting guard in the country. R.J. Davis won it last year. This year hasn't been good enough to be on that list. But he goes to North Carolina. He won it last year. He wears the colors. He has the cool shoes. He plays in the ACC, so he's on the list. If it comes down to a bubble and it's between you and a really good team from the Sun Belt, you get in because you're North Carolina. But you have to use your advantages. It's I don't even know if this is like the you know, I don't get religious, I don't get political, but there's the old saying, right? That somebody comes running down to the guy that lives by the river and says, a flood is coming, you should run. He goes, oh, no, I pray. God's going to protect me. Starts raining. Guy in a truck comes down. Hey, man, get in my truck. It's going to flood. You got to get it. No, I pray. God's got me. It's waist high. Guy in a rowboat comes by. Do you want to get in? I can save you. He goes, no. I pray. God's got me. Guy ends up dying in the flood. He goes up to the pearly gates. God's like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. He's like, well, I said that. I said I prayed. You had me. God's like, oh, I sent you a warning. I sent you a guy in a truck. I sent you a guy in a boat. I did have you. UNC sitting here going like, our way doesn't work anymore. Other people have caught up and passed. I'm going like, you could have had the GM. You could have had you could have had it before everybody else. You're North Carolina.
Now you're playing catch up.
Everyone else had to fundraise for it. Everyone else had to beg, borrow, and everything else to get those resources, and they've gotten them while you were sitting around saying, no, we do it the North Carolina way. The North Carolina way is winning. The North Carolina way is doing everything you possibly can to win. The North Carolina way, that's what it is. If you go to like Alabama football, they're proud that they're spending all the money they spend. You go to Georgia football, their boosters are fundraising and looking for ways to spend it. They're not sitting around going, no, we do it the other way. You have Michael Jordan as an alum. Just go off of him. And I'm not saying you got to ask him for all the money, although he's got it, so you should probably make the call. I'm saying look at the way he handled his career. Right? He'd be off a three-peat. He'd have just won the championship yesterday. He'd be looking for ways to get better tomorrow. Not saying we won, so I'm going to do it the exact same way. If he thought the way that UNC has been thinking, never would have developed the fadeaway. He would have been 38 years old, still trying to dunk on people. Going, well, that's the way we've done it, until it didn't work. UNC should have been the first with the GM. If not the first, as soon as anyone else had a resource they didn't have, people should have been mad. We're allowed to do that and we don't have it. Let's get one on the books right now. Name your former player. What's Stackhouse doing? I don't know. Pick one. We need a director of recruiting. Where's Rashid? Do what you got to do. Act like a blue blood. The difference between you and the also-rans is you're North Carolina. You have the resources. Through years and years and years of success, you have the resources. Use them, or else you might as well be the same as everybody else. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'll take a breath. I'll try to collect myself. Here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Law Tigers. Actually, you know what? If you want to be unlike everyone else, you can ride on a custom Caniacs motorcycle and not be like anyone else. You can truly have one of one. Just got to go to caniacsbike.com, folks, because the Carolina Hurricanes, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they're all teamed up together once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Again, simple to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. You'll see pictures of the bike right there on the site. Again, it's a custom-built motorcycle right here in Raleigh at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, where I bought my motorcycle. Custom painted by Shiny Side Paint, also located right here in Raleigh. Kane's colors, decals, all decked out. It's an absolutely gorgeous motorcycle, and it could be yours. It's one of a kind, folks. Just go to caniacsbike.com. It's going to be given away on the ice on the final home game of the year. Deadline to enter is April 6th, caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes tonight on the road. Better buckle up their chin strap. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a fight. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Here's Aho with a chance, and he scores! And Sebastian Aho has tied it at 2.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7:30. Puck drop at 8.
He scores! Jackson Blake gets the stick to it, and Carolina scores on the power play to take a 3-2 lead.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why? It's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Best idea for both of you this Valentine's Day? Adam and Eve. Everybody wins when you walk in with a gift from your local Adam and Eve store. Maybe you've been to one of our 6 Triangle locations. Maybe this is the reason you've been waiting for. Adam and Eve stores are filled with romantic, intimate gifts, from playful to passionate and everything in between. They'll even gift wrap it for you. Shop in store today and get a free gift with a qualifying purchase at your local Adam and Eve, where pleasure begins and passion never ends.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. February is the month for love, and everybody's going to be getting down and dirty. Well, if you had to get down and dirty on your carpets and floors, would you be afraid of what you might see or smell? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, it's also the biggest air filter in your home. Get your house Zero Resified and get all those scary smells far away from where you should be having a wonderful month of love. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at $109 and $100 off air duct cleaning this month from Zero Res. It's going on until February 28th, so visit zerores.com or call 919-995-0000. That's zeroresraleigh.com or 919-995-0000. Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same.
Thomas lost it. Now here comes Robinson the other way. He scores! The Canes kept it rolling and right on cue. Eric Robinson's 12th of the year, and the Canes are within a goal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes are on the road. Winnipeg tonight. It is a hockey night in Carolina, which means you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Storm Watch with Adam Gold right before for about a half hour, getting you set, getting you ready. This is a buckle up your chin strap, get ready to battle type of game. I say this with all respect for the opponent. Winnipeg is no joke. They are the best team in the NHL when it comes to record points. It is also the best point-producing team as far as goals per game. They score more goals per game than anyone else in the league, while also giving up the fewest amount of goals per game in the league. I mean, by the most basic of statistics, this is the best attack and the best defense in the entire NHL.
Got the best goalie in Connor Hellebuck.
That's going to help quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you better go into this game. By the way, the Canes are no slouch. Canes are the second best team in the East. They're just going up against the number 1 team in the league. Like, this is a game that you go into knowing you're going to have to play, if not your best, quite near your best, to get the dub. Western Conference team, so the familiarity isn't high, but you still go in knowing quality is high. And on top of that, let's talk about if you were to be an excuse maker. Canes are still dealing with a sickness that has run through the locker room, even if their players are available. You know that like post 2-3 days after a sickness fog that you get into before you're back. I need like a weekend off before I feel good. They're in the fog at least, and some players might be right there in the middle of the sickness. Canes are still trying to build back team chemistry after a pretty big shakeup. I don't know if you remember it. They traded for Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, and Martin Necas and Jack Drury went out there to Colorado. So there's some settling that still needs to take place, especially because with the sickness, then you start shuffling lines. You really haven't had any stability, and you're on the road. And the Four Nations Cup break is coming up in this game, and then 2 more, and then the break. So you can start looking ahead. If you were an excuse maker, the Canes have some. With that being said, a win accelerates everything, right? You win this game. It's great for building chemistry. It's great for sending you into the Four Nations Cup with a little bit of momentum. It's great for establishing yourself as a legit contender. It's great for so many things. So you start asking questions, right? Who is the big game player? Who is the difference maker? Who is the one ready to step up and make a play that helps beat the best team in the league? Dennis brought up the goalie. You ready to step up there? I believe it is going to be Pyotr Kochetkov in net.
Makes sense. Going on the rotation.
There you go. This is your opportunity. I know you're not blocking shots from Connor, but he's not blocking shots from you either. You're dueling on the score sheet. Are you ready for that? Facing the number 1 goal scoring offense in the entire league. Take on the challenge. And oh, by the way, we could likely, I don't even know, could likely, that's not the right way to say it. We probably not, maybe will see Scott Morrow tonight, right? Scott Morrow, rookie, being called up from the AHL. Dennis just gave me like the shrug emoji.
Like, are we? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. Let's hear from Rod Brindamore on Scott Morrow and why the call-up took place yesterday.
I think a high prospect for us that we really want to see more of. He's had a good year down in the minors, done everything we asked him to do, and really what it is he's getting better. Like, you're watching him the start of the season to now in his games, and he's getting better and better. And it just felt like it was a good time to give him an opportunity. And how much we play him, I don't know. All that's going to kind of take care of itself, but I think he was deserving to get this opportunity.
Morning skate today, he was skating as the 7th defenseman. Juha Jaska was skating after being out recently with the forwards. I'm going to take a guess, okay? And I'm going to base my guess off of one kind of assumption. The assumption is you're not calling him up not to play, right? You're not making him come all the way to Winnipeg just to be up in the booth, be up in a suite. I think Jaska sits. I think you go 11-7. I don't think that's ideal, but I think that's what makes sense after calling up Scott Morrow.
Yeah, it depends. Jaska was sick, missed yesterday's practice. How is he feeling again? He did skate this morning. But I think a lot of it is the AHL has their all-star break going on this week. They have their all-star game and all that was taking place.
Which I believe Morrow was supposed to be a part of.
He was. He was an all-star. So it's an opportunity, if you want, as a big league club to, hey, let's bring up the top prospect just to be around the big team skate, practice, and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play, but maybe that's the reason for the call-up. It's just, hey, be around the guys. If we need somebody, you're in.
Which is fair.
He's not missing any reps or anything down in Chicago because they're not playing.
He's missing a cool AHL All-Star experience.
I'm sure he is.
Ryan Suzuki flew like 15,000 miles in like 48 hours to make sure he was out there for some skills challenges. First of all, if he does play, I know he played in a couple games right at the end of last year. I think it was the last 2 games. But as far as playing like meaningful hockey when your team is in the mix, heck of an intro. On the road at Winnipeg with all of the stats I just talked about for the Jets, that is a heck of a, like, all right, Rook, go on out there. But also it could be a sink or swim moment, right? Because of everything Dennis just said, it could be like, we just wanted to get him some time on the ice, right? You call it a cameo. If he plays well in a night like tonight, all right, next game maybe we do start setting you up with a little bit more of a role. And if he plays well enough, and you're talking about over the next 3, right? Because there's 3 games until the Four Nations Cup. This is again inferring, reading tea leaves here, but it's what you got to do. Maybe it makes someone expendable. Maybe it's like, all right, cool, we have a NHL-ready defenseman here who can be on the way out so this guy can have a role, and then Wheelin' Dealin' Tulski has some more cards to play. That's the 2 things I'm watching, right? And I actually normally I go into a game, especially for a team I cover, with like 37 things to follow. I'm like, all right, I got to watch this, I got to watch that. Who's skating with Rantanen? Is it Jackson Blake? What's Aho doing? Does Jarvis look good in it, playing in his hometown? Like all of these things. I'm limiting it to 2. 1, final score. Right? I'm not asking for a lap victory, inch or a mile. If you beat Winnipeg, I'm going to be ecstatic tomorrow. And hold me to that, by the way. If they win and I try to come in nitpicking like I would have liked to have a better third period, call me out. A win is a win in this one. That's number 1. Number 2 is what Scott Morrow does. Because I just find it fascinating, the timing of the call-up, the way the team has been kind of in flux. If there's a role for him, how does he fill it? If there's a role for him, how big is that role? And it's, as every sports psychologist, coach, mentor will tell any athlete, when you get the opportunity, just do enough to get another, right? If Morrow gets 6 minutes, or I think that's what Suzuki ended up playing when they did 11-7 and he was one of the guys. If it's 6 minutes, play enough that next game they want to give you 8. And then try to get 8.5 the next game. Just do enough. I'm paying attention to Scott Morrow if he gets in the game. Should be a really fun game. It's Hockey Night in Carolina. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Should be a blast. Also, should be a blast, this. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. This ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny-weeny, eensy-weeny little bowl. It's not that bowl. It's the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Legends are made in this game, right? You score a touchdown, you score 2 touchdowns, City will love you forever. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6, because if they're going to be loved forever for scoring touchdowns, you should get something as well, right? Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Pick a player to score a touchdown. If they hit, we're all winners. DraftKings customers, new DraftKings customers, I should say, can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD at signup. That's code TIMD, no spaces, at sign-up, and new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. We have the Dean's List coming up. We also, it's been a while, we have an ACC cons and cons. Look at the men's basketball teams from Duke, Wake, NC State, and UNC, and we name what our most confident point is and what our biggest concern is for each team coming up.
Bonuses used to be everywhere. Boxes of cereal, a baker's dozen, airline upgrades, even without quadruple diamond platinum status. Life is better with the bonus. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery is adding bonus chances to multiply your win on Multiply the Cash scratch-offs. More chances than ever to win over $140 million in total prizes. Because everything is better with a bonus. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.31 to 4.86. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Can your heating and air system handle the winter chill? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hey, I got you something.
What's this?
Just a little Galentine's gift from JTV.
Do you mean jewelry television? I love their jewelry. They have the
New customers get $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Yeah, their artisan collections, gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
Oh yeah. It's the pearl bracelet.
New customers receive $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
What would you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen. The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Lobs it right, Styles. He steps into a triple, had to have it right of the circle and gets it.
Speaking of pick and pops.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I have some good news, everybody. I have some very good news. We reached 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. 99.9 The Fan. For the last little bit here, we've circled 15,000 as a goal. We've been chasing it. We even put a prize on the line, which means the prize can now be given away. We promised you as soon as we reached 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, we would give away a Seth Jarvis signed puck to one of our subscribers, which is about to happen. Not right now. But there's a video that is like featured on our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. It features myself, Adam Gold. Dennis is on there, Victoria Vodenecker from the Adam Gold Show, Graham Hill. We're all in the video explaining kind of some of the details and everything. So 15,000 subscribers. We're giving away a Seth Jarvis signed puck. Go to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, at some point today, right? We're not going to make you do it right now. At some point today, but right now would be awesome. Just if you're driving or something, don't wait. Don't feel super rushed.
Don't wait.
Be safe, as fast as safe can be. And then you can win the one of our subscribers will win the Seth Jarvis signed puck, but you got to follow the regulations and everything. I'm going to celebrate this one. I'd like. There's two things I don't think we do enough with our listeners. One, celebrate. So I'm putting like the 24-hour celebration rule, like a coach on this one. Normally, as soon as we hit like 10,000, I've already circled 15,000. As soon as we hit 15,000, I'm already like, all right, what do we got to do to get to 20? Now I'm like, give us a 24-hour celebration. We work hard for this. So everybody that's a part of that community, thank you very much. That's the other thing we don't do enough. We don't thank our listeners enough. You guys are awesome. To quote Kevin Durant, you are the real MVPs. So thank you for helping build that online community. We are going to continue to do so, continue to put a whole bunch of effort into it. Ashley, our social media manager, obviously all of our kind of content crew here at 99.9. We take a lot of pride in that. So if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. One of our subscribers in the next however many days here will win a Seth Jarvis signed puck. But 15,000 is pretty cool, especially where we were a year or 2 years ago. There's a lot of growth there, and we're very proud of it. So thank you for being a part of it. Let's celebrate.
And you mentioned about thanking our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
This is a way that we do that.
Mm-hmm. Give you a Seth Jarvis signed puck, one of you, and we give away stuff quite a bit, honestly, if you listen. So we try to hook you up throughout. It's just. Very rarely do we formally say thank you.
A little something special.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, Seth Jarvis.
Signed puck. Let's go.
Was that intentional? A little something special, Seth Jarvis?
No, it wasn't, but a hockey puck's not that big.
No, I'm kidding. So there you go. That's it for the mushy stuff. Let's jump into the Dean's List. Class in session. Here's how the Dean's List works. It's very simple. We're just highlighting people that deserve praise from the college sports world. So much negativity everywhere. We try to find the under the radar, maybe not the super duper stars, but people that deserve to be on the honor roll, right? Some good grades being passed out here. I have one from each. That's right. Yes, even NC State and UNC basketball. I have one from each of the three triangle schools, and then a wild card. We'll start with Duke. I'm going Common Malawash on the Dean's List. Common Malawash is a freshman, 7'2". That's his height listed on the Duke roster. Even if you say, well, no one is what they are on the roster. All right, 7'1". Is that better?
7 feet. Oh,
yeah.
whoa.
Oh, yeah. Such a shorty. He was switched onto RJ Davis on the perimeter a few times in that game against UNC, which for a lot of 7-footers, that's like a special place in the hot place. You know what I mean? Like, I am on one of the most watched college basketball games of the year every year. I am out on an island on the perimeter against a ball handler who won the Shooting Guard of the Year award last year. And all he did was stay low, shuffle them feet, keep them in front, and played really good defense. That's impressive. And that sound you heard was NBA scouts going, oh, better write that down. You're telling me we can switch? He can switch on the pick and roll and stay with at least, even if you don't think RJ Davis is like Ja Morant, he's a guard with proven perimeter skills. So shout out to Common Malawash. You make the Dean's List for me. Speaking of UNC, and speaking of freshmen, I'm putting Drake Powell on the Dean's List. 22 minutes off the bench. Co-led the team in scoring with 12 points, 5 of 8 from the field. But here's the deal. All 12 came in the second half. All 12 came in the second half. And that's not to say he didn't. Actually, it is kind of to say. The guy needs to be featured more often. Right? It's like you can't wait until the game's out of reach, or you can't wait until everybody else had their chance to finally let Drake Powell get a few touches. 5 5 of 8 from the field. He had 12 points. You can do some math there. So it's not like he took 7 shots in the first half and didn't make them. He didn't really get much usage until the second half. And then once he got usage, even though Duke was ahead and maybe they took their foot off the gas or whatever, he ended up making something happen with it. 22 minutes isn't enough for him. Play the guys that are playing well. Play the guys with the talent. I'm a big Drake Powell fan, and I do feel – I used to think this. Tell me if you think this would work. Dennis, this is the future of fantasy sports.
Okay.
It probably exists already, but I haven't seen it, so I'm counting it as my idea. It's called Ball Street, right?
Ball Street?
Ball Street. It's like Wall Street, but for basketball. You can, quote-unquote, buy stocks in a player.
Okay.
At whatever their points plus rebounds plus assists is. So whatever that total is right now, their average per game points plus rebounds plus assists, that's their price. So you buy it, and then if 10 games from now those averages went up, so their points plus rebounds plus assists or more, you can sell them for the price that they had. So it's a higher price. That's how you make money, right?
Okay.
So Drake Powell, if he's averaging, let me bring up Drake Powell's stats, right? And there would have to be some base price, like, for guys that haven't played 10 games or whatever. Oh, we can figure that out later. He's averaging 7.1 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 0.8 assists per game. Add those together, that's his stock price. I would buy so many shares of Drake Powell, expecting at the end of the year that to be higher and me to make some money.
Okay.
And then you just need a website, a coder to make it happen, and then I get 50% of the, all of the advertising revenue, and then I retire like the guy that made MySpace.
I mean, go for it. Be like Tom.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Tom from MySpace.
He was my first friend.
I don't know if it would work as much. That's funny. I don't know if it would work as much in college, but for the NBA, it'd be fantastic. Where are we at? Do you have someone you want to add to the Dean's List, Dennis?
I have a couple.
All right. Ooh.
I was going to say Dontrez Styles.
That's my next one.
So that's your next one?
You go, and then I'll build off it.
Well, I was going to say just the performance that he had on Saturday against Clemson, 6 of 8 from 3, was also under the weather. Wasn't sure if he was actually going to play. But I got to I hope I say her name correctly. Isaiah James. Isaiah James from NC State women's basketball at 36 last night.
Mm-hmm. Beat Duke.
Which actually, YAG in our YouTube live chat actually said on the Dean's List should be Isaiah James for her 36 last night as NC State beat Duke last night in a top 20 women's basketball matchup.
I did say it yesterday, but I'll echo it one more time. Anytime you hear me talk down on the ACC this year, like, oh, it's such a bad year. Oh, they need so much. Why aren't they? Not talking about the women.
Women's side is stacked.
There's all 3 teams in the triangle are in the top 15. That was a top 15 matchup last night between NC State and Duke that James kind of went bananas in. UNC is also top 15. Notre Dame, who is an ACC member in that particular sport, right? We let them go a la carte. They're 3rd in the country. There's 7 ACC teams in the top 25. The women are A-okay.
Loaded.
Styles, going back to Styles.
Mm-hmm.
There is – this happened to me, I don't know, I was very young. It was youth sports of some kind. I got hit in the eye, right? Like old finger in the eyeball. Happens playing basketball. They swiped at the ball, missed, got in the eye. And then I hit like 4 shots in a row. And I was thinking, like, I think I have to poke myself in the eye before every game now, because obviously there's something about depth perception that works when like one eye is fuzzy. Dontrez Styles might have to go around like when people cough, like, ooh, good, let's share water. Like if he's feeling a little under the weather. He made 6 of 8 threes. 6 of 8 threes. Or I'll use a different example that people might appreciate more. Yes, Friends references. There was an episode, I don't know why this popped in my head, where Phoebe gets sick. She has like phlegmy throat, and she's singing, and she has like cool, sultry sound, and then she gets healthy, and she's like, no! And she's trying to get sick again. Dontrez Styles, you got cool, sultry tones right now, my guy. If you're not feeling great and you go 6 of 8 from 3, maybe that's it. You need to weaken a little bit, right? Be a little bit achy, because that works with the release of the jumper. But by the way, before that, against Duke, when he was in foul trouble, 18 points, knocked down a bunch of threes. So he's overcoming some adversity recently to really score the basketball. How about this? Last 5 games, he's like 52% from 3. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's Dean's List worthy. My last Dean's List member, I mentioned I have a wild card. I don't even like this guy. Over his career, he's annoyed the heck out of me. But I got to put John Calipari on the Dean's List. If you go back to the school that you had a little beef with at the end, wasn't the prettiest breakup, and you take your unranked Arkansas steam. Well, they had some steam. Arkansas team into Lexington and win. That's that stuff I like. And by the way, like, he was booed. Good. He was coaching the other team. Nobody's thinking there like, well, at least he brought us John Wall. No, they were booing him. He obviously wanted to win that game, and he did. That's sports. No, I don't know. Did they have a tribute video? I didn't actually watch the game.
Don't know.
I hope they didn't have a tribute video. I didn't like the Tavo Teravainen tribute video the other day, but that's a conversation for another day.
You weren't there. You didn't see it.
I didn't have to be. He started his career in Chicago. He went back home rather than be. Why are you celebrating him? He was playing for the other team. Calipari got booed, won the game. Dean's List. There you go. Dean's List. Dismissed. We have we got some time here. We're going to let it rock with the ACC cons and cons. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for the 4 ACC teams, men's basketball from the state of North Carolina? We start with our gold medalist from the – oh, there you go. Forgot the intro. We'll start with the team that won the gold medal on the podium yesterday. Duke, concern. I think this is pretty open and closed. I'll be surprised if you have something else, Dennis. End of game, close game situations versus really good teams.
For Duke?
For Duke.
Okay.
It's the biggest and sometimes seemingly only concern about this squad is against other kind of top 10-ish teams. They've been in close games twice, and they lost them to Kentucky and Kansas. So I'm concerned that they won't have a lot of opportunities to practice it, and that they're going to figure out if they have it figured out when all the chips are down in the middle of the table in the NCAA tournament. So that's my concern for Duke. What's yours?
My concern for them is, are they going to get bored playing all these bad teams? Are they just going to get bored?
Which would be a bummer for like history. Like if they don't win out in the ACC. Is it a catastrophe if they're a 2 seed instead of a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament? Like that's kind of the stakes for that, right?
Well, no, I think it's just more or less is that it's so easy. It's human nature to go like, all right, we get up for obviously a game like Carolina. Mm-hmm. You have a big game with Illinois coming up, but the rest of their schedule outside of Illinois and playing Carolina again, I mean, they do have Clemson, but there isn't a lot of tough competition. It's just human nature sometimes to go like, kind of go 75%, 80%, because you're kind of bored.
Yep. No, it's true. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I
hope it doesn't, but again, there's the human nature aspect
and they're young.
Of all this.
Let's go confidence. Confidence for Duke. I'm going Cooper Flag. Is that oversimplifying it? Maybe. What do you know what's funny? Like there's certain phenomena in sports that we all acknowledge, but sometimes you can't help but fall into them. Like there was a podcast recently with Andrew Luck. They were talking about this because it was Andrew Luck, where if you become like the consensus number 1 pick for your draft class in football, like your sophomore year, and you have to come back for your junior year, people just like they come up with things to not like about you because just time and space, right? Like we got to watch you for another year in college, so I'm going to nitpick. And even when you're aware of that, sometimes you still can't help but do it. I caught myself watching Cooper the other day, Cooper Flag, during the UNC game. And every time UNC threw a double team, he handled it perfectly, right? And the broadcast crew was, you can't double him. Look how he handles it. He always finds the open guy. And I'm going, every time he's making the right decision. And instead of leaving it there, my brain went, is he too polished? My brain went, how much better could he really get, right? Usually these phenom freshmen still have like 7 levels to get to as they learn the game and pick up the basketball IQ. He knows it too well. Look, he's always making the right decision. It's not true. He messes up. But just my brain was looking for something to nitpick because he's doing so much so well. My confidence is Cooper Flag.
My confidence is, when we saw it a ton on Saturday, we've been seeing it all season, but just the lineup versatility that they have. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest confidence for me, is that if other teams want to try and play small, they can easily match that. If you want to play against a bunch of quote-unquote bigs, they have the size and everything to match that too, and the athleticism to beat you in both situations. It's their lineup versatility. The fact that they have times before Malik Brown came back, played Mason Gillis at the 5. The guy's a guard. Hey, we could play him at the 5. It's okay.
They match you in small ball mentality without having to go small.
Exactly.
Because as long as you have Cooper at 6'9" is a legit center, could be in college. Ask UNC. Their starting center was 6'8" against Duke. Cooper Flag could be that in a small ball lineup, or he could be, a secondary ball handler in a big lineup. There's a lot to get to there. Let's get to Wake Forest. What are you concerned about for Wake Forest? I am concerned, and it's an oldie but a goodie.
Okay.
Road Wake Forest.
Oh, there you go.
We're right back where we were last year. They're starting to be very – I'm not saying they're horrendous on the road. I'm not saying they're a juggernaut at home. I'm just saying there's starting to be a big discrepancy in their ability or their performance at home versus the road. Last year it was unbelievable. I thought maybe they had kicked that demon to the curb. No pun intended. But the Demon Deacons, it's popping its head up again. The road Wake stuff is always going to concern me with this core.
Yeah, they lost to Louisville on the road recently, 72-59. But losing to Louisville isn't. Nothing
but I think they're better than 13 points worse than Louisville.
True, but I mean,
you see that on air math? Let's go.
I will say this though, they actually have more road wins in conference this year than they did last year.
They're better. I did say they're better.
Granted, it is against Syracuse, Miami, among other teams.
I thought they had kicked it, and it's just starting to feel like, wait a second.
There it is.
The symptoms are coming back.
My biggest concern for Wake, for them as a program as a whole right now, not a lot of opportunities to get more quality wins. That's my biggest concern for them. Right now, Joe Lunardi and his bracketology for ESPN has not Wake Forest as one of the first 4 teams out, but the next 4 out. Ironically, right ahead of SMU and North Carolina. They also have games coming up this season on the road at SMU, and they also have a big one on the road at Duke later on this year. That's the only real quality games that they really have left this season. I don't know if it's enough for them, even if they win those, to really push themselves into the NCAA tournament.
Confidence. What are you confident about when it comes to Wake Forest here in Cons and Cons? I'm going Hunter Salas here, professional level scorer, 4th in the ACC in scoring. I've talked about how he's been doing that and keeping the efficiency even while shooting the 3 not as well as he did last year. Well, if you start checking, that 3-point percentage is slowly bouncing back. So if that happens, right, he's over 30% now. If it starts creeping up to 35, his effectiveness will only go up. I'm confident in that guy as a scorer.
My overall confidence it includes Hunter Salas. It's their backcourt with him and Cam Hildreth, but also Juke Harris. I think coming off the bench, I think is providing a lot of good minutes for them. So to me, it's their backcourt and their ability to just score. It's weird because Juke Harris is considered a guard, even though he's 6'7", which I think he would start at the 5 for Carolina, I think, at that height. But to me, it's their backcourt. And they have a ton of experience. Cam Hildreth is in his 4th year, played a ton of basketball. Hunter Salas, same things, played a ton of basketball. That experience is going to matter, I think, especially when you get to the ACC tournament. I don't think a lot of teams want to see Wake in the ACC tournament.
I want to see if I still have the stat. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. There was a stat when Wake played Duke where it was like Wake Forest's top 5 scorers had played 520 career games, and Duke's top 5 leading scorers had played 130, and 80 of them were Tyrese Proctor. They are a wildly experienced team. UNC, am I right there? No, sorry, NC State. NC State, what are we concerned about? Here's what I'm concerned about for State. The last 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes, They aren't the same team. Hero ball comes out. It starts to look like they don't trust each other. Maybe a lack of chemistry, lack of go-to shot creator, because as well as Styles is playing, he's a shooter, right? He's not exactly probing the defense and creating something. Whatever it is, whatever the cause, the last 5 minutes are my concern. So often it's a game, it's close, and then the last 5 minutes just takes it away from them. Dennis, what's your concern for NC State?
Same thing.
Yep.
But actually, my concern is at this point is just there's a level of apathy towards the program.
You're saying from the outside?
From the outside.
Apathy? Okay.
I mean, it's just everything that you pretty much earned by making a Final Four run back last March is just kind of dissipated. Let's be honest. It was a fun moment, but that's all it was. It was a fun moment. It was a fun run. But
It is.
Look
it is
where
funny,
they are now.
Because they started on Tuesday of last year, right?
ACC tournament, yeah.
And when they won, I want to say the Wednesday game, you and I looked at each other and said, "There's going to be a ton of people," because it was in D.C.
Yeah.
There's going to be a ton of people driving up from the Triangle tonight, right? They're all going to get here for the Thursday game, and it did feel like, and they won't miss the first game next year, right? Because everybody's all in now. If they make the ACC tournament, which is an if,
big if.
First 2 games, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be like, well, if you make it to Thursday, let us know, and we'll see. It's crazy that they got that back to that after what they did last year. Confidence, my confidence is Styles. Lethal shooter right now. He's on a heater. I mentioned it earlier. 52% shooting from 3 over his last 5 games. That should help the team a lot more than even it is helping. But if he can keep shooting over 50%, obviously, that'll be massive for the Wolfpack as they try to, fight back against some of that apathy.
I'm kind of with you the first 35 minutes of the game. It's going to be a competitive game with NC State. Actually, I will say this, though. Defensively, they've been pretty strong this season. I will say defense, they're not giving up a ton of points in games. It's just they're faltering as a whole on the offensive end late in games. It's really it. But defensively, I actually thought they've been all right this season. But, man, the first 35 minutes, you're getting a heck of a game.
And I would say, and again, those last possessions, they tend to put teams on the foul line. There's some defensive lapses that maybe aren't an overarching problem, just clutch minutes. UNC, last one here. North Carolina, what are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about here on Cons and Cons on the drive? My concern is similar to something you've said about some other teams. Staying locked in. Your coach, Hubert Davis, is talking to the media on his coach's show and saying, like, the way we've structured things doesn't work anymore, and we have to make all these changes in the offseason, and we have to hire a GM and hire this because what we're doing ain't working. And you're, as a player, you're sitting there going like, well, we still got like 9 games left to play. What do you mean what we're doing isn't working? The old school, like, we better find a way to make whatever we got work because, I'm still working pretty hard over here. It's hard to stay locked in when that's going on. And on top of that, you're losing games that you shouldn't lose, which is going to hit you in the motivations. So my concern is staying locked in.
My concern when it comes to North Carolina, not a lot of great opportunities to boost your resume to make the NCAA tournament. Right now, they're on the outside looking in. They're on the outside looking in. People might disagree with it. That's fine. They're on the outside looking in. And you really only have 3 games to boost your resume. It starts this Saturday when you play Pitt, and then Monday when you got to go on the road to Clemson, and then ending the year at home against Duke. That's really it. Syracuse, State, Virginia, FSU, Miami, Virginia Tech ain't helping your cause if you win those games. But you have to win them, though.
And this might sting. Right, they're on the outside now in some of the bracketologists' opinion. To me, it's the first time the bracketologists have lined up with the eye test. We've been saying UNC isn't a tournament team for like 3 weeks. Even though they were still projected to be in the tournament, now it's like, all right, now you're adding up to what we're seeing here. So it's not like, oh, they're disrespecting you. It's like, oh, they're finally figuring it out.
Joe Lunardi, I think, has 6 teams at least between North Carolina and actually making the tournament. There's 6 teams
you're on the fringe of the bubble.
Between them. It's like there's the bubble, and you're on the edge, barely touching the bubble. There's a lot of work for them to do. And then teams in your conference like Wake and SMU are ahead of you.
Truth hurts. Confidence, I said it earlier, Drake Powell. Despite his low usage, I'm still a big fan. I think he's going to end up being like a 10-year contributor in the NBA, and UNC fans are going to be really confused, going like, he was on that team, wasn't he? Huh. It's just going to be one of those weird ones. He's averaging, 16 points 9 years later in the NBA. What's going on here? And it's just it's one of those things.
My confidence is actually the 2 young freshmen that they have in Drake Powell and Ian Jackson. I know Jackson has struggled a bit lately because he was hot for a bit and every team started to key on him, I think, just a lot more. But to me, I think those are their 2 most athletic players as a whole. Not that the other guys aren't great athletes, but just the build physicality that those guys have. I mean, to me, they're the 2 best players that things got to run through on the offensive end.
That's Cons and Cons here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? If you have some answers for any of the teams we mentioned, you can drop them in our YouTube comments. YouTube live stream 99.9 The Fan is where you'll find it. Just search 99.9 The Fan. Right now, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. It is February, and February is the month of love. February is the month of Valentine's, and Bailey's Fine Jewelry wants to make sure you're prepared, right? Just like any big game, you need to prepare ahead of time. Get the game plan together so you're ready to execute when the day is there. I'm not talking about a game day, though. I'm talking about Valentine's Day. Head to BaileyBox.com. Check out their Valentine's gift guide. Everything from Bailey collection of jewelry, heart-shaped jewelry, gemstones of all different kinds, the diamonds. They break it down. They give you the playbook so you can execute properly for the special person in your life. I always say if you're gonna head out to Bailey's, which you should, right, and get something lovely for the special someone in your life, go to the Village District location of Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh. That way, you can take care of your special person. And also, go check out what's going on in Bailey, Fox and Bailey, the watch shop, right? What pre-owned and vintage Rolexes have come through, what is going on in the Omega Boutique, right? You can still check all that out while checking off the box of shopping for Valentine's. BaileyBox.com, Valentine's Guide for more info. It's a Valentine's gift guide, or you can stop out, as I said, at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. Just make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from Tim. We'll take a break. Football at 4 up next. It is a legacy game, the Super Bowl, but maybe not for the person who everybody else is saying it's their legacy game. Stick around.
Listen for the did he just do that?
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damask from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The get that out of here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. You know the big game is right around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about big game parties. Don't be that guy that doesn't get the best wings in town. So order your wings today from Buffalo Brothers. Come and get Buffalo Brothers Big Game Special. 2 large pizzas and 20 wings for just $50. That's food for the whole family at more than 20% off. But remember, order today as pickup times fill up fast. Buffalo Brothers. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. This month, get 3 rooms of carpets cleaned, starting at $109, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I'm not sure you're aware of this. No, of course you're aware of this. Super Bowl 59 is here. It's the big week, and no better way to make every moment more exciting than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. They make it easy to have the most fun during the big game. Saquon Barkley, 25 or more rushing yards in each quarter. You can do that. That's hard. Either quarterback to catch a pass. That could happen. How about a big man touchdown? Any offensive lineman to score a TD. Place a $5 bet. If you win, you get $200 in bonus bets. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. That's FanDuel.com/Adam Gold for FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Hopefully you can spend a minute or two outside today. It's just gorgeous. We'll likely tie a record high at 76 degrees with all this sunshine. Overnight tonight, the clouds roll in. We'll see a low of 42. And then during the afternoon tomorrow, it's going to feel like winter again. High temperatures in the upper 40s with cloudy skies and some drizzle.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 134 points to 44,556.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4, but first, it's time to qualify someone to be our big game VIP. Not just our big game VIP, but big game VIP is both 99.9 The Fan and Buffalo Brothers. We have a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Brothers we're giving away to somebody right now. And that same person who gets a $25 gift card will also qualify for a chance to win a VIP table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail for the big game this Sunday. And that also comes with a $300 gift card. So just for being qualified into being like a finalist, you get the $25 gift card to Buffalo Brothers, and then you are qualified to win the big game VIP status, the VIP table, the reserve table, the $300 gift card, and all of that for the Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail this weekend. Dennis, caller number 9, is that what we're thinking?
That is correct. Caller 9.
Caller 9 will be qualified and get the $25 gift card. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in right now, and one of you will win and be qualified. For the rest of us, we'll jump into football at 4. This year's Super Bowl is going to, as every Super Bowl does, but I feel like each year breaks the record of the one before, it's going to break the record for legacy talk. It's a Patrick Mahomes legacy game as he tries to do something Tom Brady has never done. It's a Travis Kelce legacy game. Oh, Andy Reid, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. It's a legacy game. Everyone's talking about it. They're not talking about the person who has the true legacy on the line. We're talking former NC State Wolfpack offensive lineman Joe Thuney. You may go, yeah, I think I've heard of that name. It's an offensive lineman. Unless you're deep in the weeds, you might not hear about it much. Joe Thuney has an absolute ridiculous legacy that could be made even more ridiculous if he and his Chiefs teammates are able to pull out the victory. Right now, Thuney, as it sits, is among the 37 players in NFL history with 4 or more Super Bowl rings. There are 37 players in NFL history with 4 or more Super Bowl rings. He is one of them. He's won 2 with the Patriots and 2 with the Chiefs. He's the only one still playing in this game. So if the Chiefs win, he moves up to 5 Super Bowl rings. Do you know how many players in the history of the NFL have 5 or more Super Bowl rings? Ding, ding, ding. Time's up. The answer was 2. Charles Haley has 5. He won 2 with the Niners and 3 with the Cowboys. Tom Brady has 7, 6 with the Patriots, 1 with the Bucks. That's the rarefied air former NC State football player Joe Thuney is looking to enter into. If you are the ring arguer, that is one of the archetypes of sports arguers. If you are the ring arguer, right? LeBron can't be as good as Jordan. Jordan has more rings. Bill Russell is the GOAT. He has the most. Brady has to be better than Mahomes. He's got 7 rings. If that's your argument, then Joe Thuney might become the 3rd best player. Actually, check that. Tied for the 2nd best player in the history of the NFL this weekend. That's how it is, right? That's the rule. And it's not like, by the way, he is not, and no offense to this guy, he is not Robert Horry, right? He is not a role player, catch and shoot, not contributing. He is a all-pro offensive lineman. He is as legit as they come as an offensive lineman, right? I always say there's a difference between being on a team that wins a championship and being one of the players that wins a championship, right? If you were on a team that won a championship, then right, the stars are the ones that get the win-loss record next to their name, but you get a ring in the parade and everything else. Joe Thuney is one of the players that wins or loses this game. He is a driver of this team. And on top of that, 2 Super Bowls with Tom Brady, could be 3 with Mahomes. He's got an invitation to every football podcast forever and ever, right? So that when people are debating that, he is the ultimate authority on the subject, right? Brendan Haywood, former UNC guy. He's one of like 4 people in NBA history that were teammates of both Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And I think he played 1 or 2 games with LeBron. But still, that's all it takes. You become the guy that knows how both practice. You've seen them both in their element. That's Joe Thuney. But I'm gonna read the room here. I feel like you're not understanding how good Joe Thuney is. I feel like you're like, okay, it's an offensive lineman, relax. I have some more points here for you. One, not only does he have the opportunity to win 5 Super Bowls, the moment, and hat tip to Matt Verderame of SI.com for this stat, the first snap that he is on the field for the Chiefs, he becomes the first player in NFL history to play in 3 consecutive Super Bowls twice. He played for 3 consecutive Super Bowls from 2016 to 2018 with the Patriots, and now he will have played in 3 consecutive Super Bowls for the Chiefs.
Well, he missed last year's game because he was hurt. He had a torn pec. He hurt it last year in the divisional round game against the Bills. So he actually missed last year's Super Bowl.
Then that hat tip towards Matt Verderame of SI gets reeled back in.
Yeah.
He didn't play at all in last year's?
No.
Matt's usually pretty good. Wow.
No, he missed the game. From our understanding, he missed the game.
He got then. Well, then let me reel that one back and say a different way that Joe Thuney is a beast. Dennis, are you aware of who T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith are?
Yes, I do, actually.
All right.
Studs.
So Joe Thuney, I just want to set the tone there. They're edge rushers for the Steelers. So Joe Thuney is an interior offensive lineman by trade, right? Guard for the most. He's an all-pro guard. Week 15, the Chiefs were dealing with injuries to the edge. He moved out to left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that right there is pretty bananas. That doesn't happen that often for an all-pro to just be like, yeah, I'll change positions. But he did it. In the first game he faced, the first edge rusher he faced, that team, Cleveland, with Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett. The following 2 weeks, he saw the Steelers with the aforementioned T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, and the Texans. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, may have heard of them. They're studs as well on the edge. He allowed 0 sacks in those games. He bumps out to a new position, allowed 0 sacks. Houston did get after him a little bit in the postseason, but hey, lights get brighter. He's playing out of position. It's. I don't even know. I was trying to think of this. I was trying to think of an example of someone like a really, really that good all-pro level player, multiple year consecutively all-pro player that would like change positions on the way to a championship. Kind of came up with Magic Johnson when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got hurt, and he was like, sure, I'll play center, and he like hit a hook shot, but I think that was 1 game. How crazy would it be if like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith got hurt and Saquon Barkley was like, well, we're better at backup running back, so I'll just go play X receiver for this game, and you can toss me the rock. That might not be a perfect analogy either, but it's bananas what Joe Thuney is doing. bananas. Legacy game for Joe Thuney. So every time someone wants to say, like, what does this do for Andy Reid's legacy? Go, Andy Reid. Joe Thuney's got something on the line coming out here. He could win 5 Super Bowl rings, tying Charles Haley for the second most in history.
You know who's actually going for 6 Super Bowl rings in this game? Talking about North Carolina connection. Raleigh's very own Dave Merritt. Dave Merritt, who played at NC State, went to Millbrook High School here in Raleigh, going for his 6th as an assistant coach in the NFL.
Hey.
Was with the New York Giants. He's a defensive back, secondary coach. Was with the Giants.
I thought you were going to say he was a player. I was like, is all of my research wrong? There's somebody out there going for 6.
He was with the Jets for a couple years after his playing career ended, but he was with the Giants from 2004 through 2017. So those seasons. So he was part of 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, and he's been with the Kansas City Chiefs as their defensive backs coach since 2019. So he's had 3 Super Bowls with them. So he's 5-time Super Bowl champion. He was a first-team All-ACC member back in 1992. So shout out Dave Merritt, Raleigh's own.
Going for 6?
Going for 6. Take that, Joe.
Dave Merritt's chasing Brady.
That's pretty. I mean,
Belichick has 8, right? Technically, if you go assistant.
Yeah, if you go assistant coach, but still, it's pretty remarkable the fact that you've been part of championship teams like that as an assistant coach.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
They want you around.
So shout out Dave Merritt.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here. Speaking of the big one. Speaking of not the eensy-weensy, teeny-weeny, little tiny bowl. We're talking about the Super Bowl. Get down on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings, where scoring touchdowns, it's key. It's key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. It's key to winning games. It's key to building legacies. It's key to potentially put money in your pocket. You can score big by betting on touchdowns at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. I don't know what the odds would be, but it's probably a long shot that Joe Thuney is going to score a touchdown. But he might open up a hole for somebody like Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco to run for a touchdown. In that case, you'd be betting on the running backs. So try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces. Use that code at sign up for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. We'll take a break. I'm going to restart that real quick. We have the ladder challenge coming up. That's a better way to say it. My bet won yesterday. Did yours, Dennis?
That it did.
Starting off February hot. We try to keep it rolling coming up.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Here's Aho with a chance. And he scores! And Sebastian Aho has tied it at 2.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7:30. Puck drop at 8.
He scores! Jackson Blake gets the stick to it, and Carolina scores on the power play to take a 3-2 lead.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always Bo time.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Thomas lost it. Now here comes Robinson the other way. He scores! The Canes kept it rolling and right on cue. Eric Robinson's 12th of the year.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That Eric Robinson goal, not the first goal of the game, which is rare for Eric Robinson.
Yeah, I know.
That one was the late goal for the Canes. We do have first goal scorer predictions coming up, though. 4:33, as always, on a game day for the Canes. When we have a show, we will be asking for your predictions. We'll solicit on the call line. Call in with a name, a player for the Canes, and a period that you think the first goal will be scored. And if you get it right on the air, you get a sweet Apex Racing Lab gift certificate.
We already have predictions coming in online, by the way.
Want to give
Clinton
us one or
says
two?
Mika Rantanen, first period, front and center, right in the slot.
It's a moose sound.
Okay.
That wasn't my best, but
It wasn't.
It's going to be a thing. When he scores, moose calls. Maybe moose growls. No, I like the moose call better. So you can get those predictions in. You can send them in on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Those are not official contestants. Those are for bragging rights. The official contestants will open up the phone lines in like 13 minutes for those predictions. And then you can start thinking about it now. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it? As far as competition goes, right now it's me versus Dennis. It's time for the ladder challenge. Last night I had Victor Wembanyama, 18-plus points scored versus the Grizzlies. He had 27. He had 18 with 3 minutes left to go in the third. It was a no-sweat winner. So as we start a new month, starting with $10, my nice little likely to win bet goes from $10 to $12. It's a good leadoff single. Dennis, what are you? What was your evening like?
I had Philip Forsberg, Nashville Predators, 2+ shots on goal. He had 4 of them, so that was a minus 550. So I went from $10 to $11.80.
We have somebody sneak. Oh, we got a ladder challenge. We got a drop-in ladder challenge from our program director / the host of Next Up, Paul Ihander, running into the studio here. Everyone on YouTube already saw him coming through.
WWE style run-in, Paul?
Yeah, there you go.
Is that Paul's music?
Dude, what the hell's he doing here?
Do you have an entry?
Did you guys do your ladder? Did you just do it?
We just went over that we both won our 1st of February.
Oh, okay, I just want to hear it.
Okay. So as the leader, I lead off. Kentucky, I've teased it all the way to plus 14.5 versus Ole Miss tonight. Kentucky just lost to John Calipari in the return game where he took Arkansas into Kentucky. So I like the narrative bet of the team that's real upset that they just had an embarrassing loss. So they're going to be fired up. Also, that loss probably artificially holding down the number on Kentucky. They're actually a 4.5-point dog just on the spread against Ole Miss. They're at Ole Miss 23 in the country. Kentucky right now 14, although that'll drop a little bit. Minus 520. Give me Kentucky plus 14.5. As long as they don't lose by more than 2 touchdowns, I'm doing all right.
I like that.
That'll turn my $12 into $14.30.
I like that.
Dennis?
Okay, so I am going to go hockey.
Surprise.
Nikita Kucherov tonight. Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Ottawa Senators. 2+ shots on goal against Ottawa. Ottawa gives up a ton of shots.
They don't give it up. The other teams take it.
No, they give up a ton of shots. So I'm going to take my $11.80. It's going to turn into $14 because it's a minus 525. Nikita Kucherov shoots the puck a lot. Paul, you're a big hockey guy.
So, I am. I love hockey. So I'm throwing things off here just a little bit. So
yeah, you walked in.
I know. I totally rolled in on this. So we've been doing Ladder Challenge for like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Like November,
Somewhere.
December,
Yes, actually,
January.
yes, because it's 2 months for Dennis, 1 for me.
Okay, so Dennis is up 2.
Yep.
And you're up 1. So.
But I'm on a heater.
No, I totally
back.
get that. And so I wanted to make sure that we recognize that we were doing Ladder Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I wanted to get this at the end of November, but, China tariffs, supply chain kind of things. So what we have done, and I heard some BS earlier in the show about how we don't celebrate stuff around here enough. We don't have enough.
It's not BS, but we need to celebrate more.
We need to let it breathe, celebrate a little bit more. So, again, supply chain, whatever it was. So what we've done is we have established
look at this.
a traveling trophy for the Ladder Challenge.
Oh, let's go.
Show the camera. There we are.
Our
camera.
YouTube live stream right there in the middle one.
Camera right here. So we have a traveling trophy now for the Ladder Challenge. It is not engraved for either Dennis or Tim, but because, and again, I wanted it in November.
I like it. It does say Ladder Challenge.
So now that we have.
And it's got a ladder on it. That's actually hilarious.
So we now have a traveling trophy. So for either of you who win the month, can hold on to the trophy and proudly show that you have won that month's ladder. Again, Dennis, I wanted this here at the end of November, but
could add November and December.
Dude, slow boat. Like, I don't know, we didn't pay the postage or something. It was just something happened.
I mean,
did it finally arrive? Is that why you're bringing it?
It literally got here yesterday at like 5:30.
That's wonderful.
So as the January champion, we'll keep it right here, right near me during the show. Sure. When it's when the camera's on me during the live stream, you will see it. And then it'll stay there forever because I'm going to continue winning. See that? It's like the rivalry trophy. You grab it and you go, all right, let's bring it to our lobby, and it's not going anywhere.
Now, the victory bell, start ringing it.
Now, legitimately, I wanted a small ladder. we were trying to get a hold of a small ladder. Unfortunately, again, supply chains, and they just don't make them.
Yeah.
And
you would have had to get like popsicle sticks and glue and make it happen.
And I think someone should have told me.
We could have done that.
And so this is what we got. And I wish someone would have told me I was dressing like Tom Dundon today. I'm like, I feel like I've dressed like Tom Dundon today. Where's that zip up? He's got that low hat usually kind of thing.
Hey, for the owner, who has a worth obviously over $1 billion, he rocks the athleisure. I got to give him credit.
He wears whatever he wants to wear because he can afford to get the designer stuff if he wants to.
So there you go. I threw a full knuckleball into the show here, but I thought this would be kind of something just goofy and fun to do.
It's not goofy at all. It's serious.
I love
there
it.
You go.
Competitions, they're not goofy.
All right, so there's no easy way for me to leave other than just
do you have any picks you want to throw out? Anything you're on today?
Tonight, no.
Okay.
Not really. I think I'm going to go Heiskanen 3+ shots if we're doing ladder challenge kind of stuff. 3+ shots. I'm actually going to leave because I need a nap because tomorrow night Duke is playing at 7 and NC State's playing at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
11 p.m.
West Coast swing of the ACC. The Atlantic Coast Conference Pacific Coast swing.
That's the degenerate kind of bet kind of thing. If you're talking ladder challenge to catch up on all the losses for the day, check into the ACC at midnight. ACC after dark.
The old school like Hawaii San Diego State game to chase your losses from earlier in the day.
State and Cal, that is some serious degenerate.
Take the under.
All right, I'm unplugging and leaving.
Appreciate it, Paul. That is wildly, and I don't say this as if it were intentional. There's Paul. Paul's music as he sneaks out. Wildly convenient that for the first time I won the trophy yesterday, and now the trophy showed up today.
I find it very odd.
So do I. It's convenient and definitely not planned, but we'll keep it right here.
I find it very, very odd.
It is nice. It's got logos on it. It's got a little ladder logo. I like it. We do have first goal scorer predictions coming up. If you want to win, you don't get a trophy. You get an awesome Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. It's coming up at 4:33. But let's hit a little copper drop while we can with the time we have. All right, what are we copping or dropping today, Dennis?
All right, cop or drop. We talked about it a lot. UNC misses the NCAA tournament. Cop or drop. Men's basketball.
UNC misses?
Yes.
Cop. I got to make sure I don't double negative myself there. Yes, I'm copping. I don't think they make the tournament. It's as much about just watching them and saying, like, am I like halfway through a game, you just pause it and you go, am I watching an NCAA tournament quality team or am I not? Take the jersey out of it, take the recruiting rankings out of it. I'm just like, I don't think I am. So until they show me something else, I'm going to continue. I think it's now 3 straight weeks of this being a copper drop question and me having to kind of bite the bullet, cover my nose, and say, no, they don't make the tournament. I'm not seeing it.
Okay, next one. Cop or drop. The ACC will get 5 schools in the NCAA tournament on men's side. Cop or drop.
I am going to come across as such a Debbie Downer negative Ned. No, they drop it. They don't make 5. Right now, as far as watching teams and doing the same test, right? You're watching the game, slam on the brakes and go, right now, are you watching an NCAA tournament team? I think when you watch Duke, obviously, yes. When you watch Louisville, yes. When you watch Clemson, yes. I'm not convinced about anybody else yet. Now, I will twist and do mental gymnastics as much as I can to argue for the ACC because I still love the conference and I think it's important that they get teams in. But like truth serum style, it's a 3-team bid this year as far as deserving, unless Pitt, Wake, like there's a few that if they go on a run and finish winning like 8 of 9 and it's the right one that they're allowed to lose, then we can have other conversations. But as of right now, it's a 3-bid league.
Right now, Joe Lunardi, ESPN, his bracket projection that came out this morning, even though Pitt got smoked by UVA, still has Pitt as one of the last 4 teams in. So they're barely hanging on. Now, granted, there also could be bid stealers from other conferences and things on those lines that knock you out. So, I don't know. Saturday's game between Pitt and North Carolina feels like a loser leaves town match.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And it's also like one of those like early round games where it's like loser leaves, winner advances, but the winner still has to win like 8 more games to get to the medal round. Like there's still, even if you win, the work has just begun. Like there's a lot more left on the bone.
All right, cop or drop. This Sunday, Super Bowl. Cop or drop. A Super Bowl record of some kind will be broken this Sunday. Cop or drop.
I'm copping.
Okay.
There's always something weird that's going to happen. Well, for Joe Thuney's got to have something going on there, right? There's got to be some record. Most Super Bowl appearances by like an offensive lineman or something. He's got to be up there. So just there's something. I don't know what record it'll be. I hope it's something cool. I hope it's like most total points scored. Like let's get a 56-54 Super Bowl.
Something wild
something
like
wild.
that.
Yeah, but
or like most pick sixes in a Super Bowl game or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, I would love for that to happen. Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
As long as it's not like most penalties, as long as it's not something stupid. Like I'm for one of a kind, unique Super Bowls.
Most false starts by one offensive lineman in a game.
Yeah, actually, what was it? Jawan Taylor? I forget what his name was. The offensive lineman for the Chiefs, who like the first game of one of these years, he was just lining up too far off the line and couldn't figure it out, and they were just like, "You have 900 illegal formations. Like, just if that happens in a Super Bowl, I'll be very upset."
All right, next one, cop or drop. If the Carolina Hurricanes can't sign Mikko Rantanen to a contract extension before the trade deadline, the Canes flip Mikko Rantanen.
Is that something people are really talking about?
Yeah.
I'm dropping it. Just if you don't get the extension by the trade deadline, that just means you have more time to get the extension done before free agency opens up. To me, once you make the trade, I guess you could have your socks really blown off. You could flip him, but that I hadn't even thought of it. So
I don't think they do it, but that's something that people are floating around. It's because, then just basically it's a long-term rental like Gensel.
That's a very fantasy sports level thinking of like, yeah, sure, I'll buy him, I'll sell him. I got this guy, I got that guy. One time I traded for and traded away Dalvin Cook within like 3 hours of each other. Dynasty fantasy football. I'm a wheeler and a dealer, but even that, I wouldn't do it in real life.
All right, we have a minute here. Copper drop. Canes make another trade before the trade deadline. Copper drop.
Cop. It won't be earth-shattering, but I still think there's moves to make. And if Scott Morrow plays well enough, maybe you have somebody a little expensible on the blue line that you can send away for something. I don't know. And every time we talk about moves, I feel like I just need to mention this word. Goalie. There's always, you never know. That's how I'll leave it. There's always, you never know, goalie. But there's a few other things. I think depth is always something they can work towards. And Eric Tolsky has said the exact phrase, until we have the 20 best players in the league on our roster, we're going to continue trying to get better. So he's moving and shaking. Wheeling and dealing Tolsky. That's it for Copper Drop, which means it is now time for Kane's first goal scorer predictions. We'll open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in right now with who you think will score the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes against the Winnipeg Jets tonight on the road, and in what period you think they will score it. I don't know if this helps or hurts, but it's something to take into account. Winnipeg is the highest scoring, most goals per game team in the league, and the fewest goals allowed per game in the league. So it's going to be a hard-fought battle for the Canes. We need a name, a player who's going to score the first goal, and a period that you think they will score it. If you call in, you're one of the 3 official contestants on the call-in line, and you get it right, both the player and the period, you win the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Carey's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. That's apexracinglab.com. Gift certificate goes to you if you get it right. The call-in lines are filling up, 919-860-5326. As always, if you don't get through on the call-in line, that's fine. Just head over to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan, which, by the way, 15,000 subscribers as of, I think it was late last night, which means we are giving away Seth Jarvis signed puck to one of our subscribers. Just watch the featured video on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, and you'll figure out how. But if you go to our YouTube live stream and you comment, you can leave your predictions for first goal scorer predictions, and if you get it right, you'll get bragging rights. As far as those official contestants that can win the ultimate sim racing experience, Apex Racing Lab gift card, Brian and Holly Springs, you are up first. Brian, who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it?
Give me the Captain Stahl, but I think it's going to be in the second period.
Stahl in the second. Do you want to give us any additional details? Is it a shorty? Is it a deflection? Anything just for bragging rights?
Oh, well, I know he's got a lot of goals against Winnipeg, but yeah, give me a deflection.
All right, deflection. I like it. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. I was talking with Adam Gold earlier. He likes to point out, or he did point out to me, that Hellebuyck is pretty beastly between the pipes, but the Canes do tend to get him, like just historically. So you might go in with the expectation of this being a pitcher's duel. You never know. These teams sometimes like to put up funny numbers against each other. Taylor and Holly Springs, you are up next. Taylor, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
I am hoping for Seth Jarvis in the first.
Jarvie in the first. Any additional details you want to throw out there just for bragging rights?
No, but he will get down on one knee to celebrate.
Okay.
Hands down.
All right. I like the detail. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. I like that. Start talking about celebrations. Like, it'll be a left-hand fist bump.
Not gonna lie. We said, well, he's going to get down on one knee. I'm like, is he proposing? Like, what's happening here?
That would be kind of funny. I don't know. It seems like, I don't know his personal life. I was going to say it seems like it might be a while away, but I don't know his personal life. Scott and Wilson, you are our last official contestant. Who scores the first goal for the Canes tonight in Winnipeg, and in what period?
I think it's going to be Blake, and it'll be in the first period.
Ooh, going with the rookie. What makes you say the rookie in the first?
I just like the hustle that I've seen from him, and I think it'll be some kind of fluke goal, though. maybe hits off a defenseman or something and goes in.
Okay. Jackson Blake on a fluke goal in the first. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. Jackson Blake has been catching a little bit of heat from the fan base. It's just when you're skating with Aho and Rantanen, the expectations are going to be so otherworldly high for that line. And if you aren't producing like 2 goals a game with Aho and Rantanen on your line, not saying Jackson, but when that line isn't, somebody has to be blamed, right? Because that's how crazy high expectations are. And they're not going to blame Sebastian. They're not going to blame Mikko. So Jackson's catching some of those strays. A goal from him would go a long way towards hopefully kind of downplaying some of that heat. And I don't believe it's fair. I think Jackson Blake's actually playing pretty well. I think he's got a very, very bright future as a top 6 forward with the Canes. But again, he has to continue to develop and do a bunch of stuff, put on a little bit of weight. Sometimes he looks a little light, but he's doing all right. I like Jackson Blake. Dennis, now that you've grabbed all the information you need to grab, who do you have as the first goal scorer?
I might have to go with Taylor on this one. And this is something that actually Brandon R. on our YouTube live chat actually just mentioned. I was thinking the same thing, and he said it as well. He's a Winnipeg guy. Seth Jarvis is from Winnipeg. He's going home. Give me Jarvie in the first on the power play.
I don't know if this is awesome synergy and like this is the planets aligning or if I hate this. But, I mean, it's in my notes. I wrote it beforehand. Seth Jarvis in the first period, Winnipeg native, back home. I like picking guys trying to score in front of like their high school friends, right? Mm-hmm. It's like I've got 30 people in the stands. I got them all tickets. Like it's I want to point to them after I score. It just seems to happen that way. I think Seth Jarvis is going to make it happen. And I'll throw this out there as well. The Four Nations Cup is coming up. Mm-hmm. Seth Jarvis, Team USA,
Canada.
Or sorry, Team Canada.
Can't get that right.
I just said he's a Winnipeg native. That's why he should. Now I'm like, well, he's playing for Team Finland. Team Canada, if you look at Team Canada, he's one of the more unknown kind of like risers, obviously young guys. Mm-hmm. It's also like a star-making chance, right? So I want him to have momentum going into the Four Nations, super confident, because, you play well on a team with all of those Canadians, those Canadian hockey players. It's a chance like to make your jersey one of the top-selling jerseys in the league. So I think Seth is gonna ride the wave over these last 3. Home game, right? Big game, heading towards the Four Nations Cup. I'm looking towards Seth Jarvis. And that had nothing to do, although I like the synergy of Taylor picking Jarvis in the first, then Dennis picking Jarvis in the first, then me picking Jarvis in the first, with at least one YouTube commenter picking Jarvis in the first.
Yeah.
Either we're all right on or we're all going to look foolish.
Travis says after a 0-0 first period, Seth Jarvis snipes at high blocker side, bar down. So he has Jarvis in the second.
That's fair, too. I'd take that. The thing is, like, predicting a first goal scorer is so tough.
It's not easy.
So what I try to do is find somebody that I think is like in form, could score a goal in the game, and then figure, all right, if you're going to score 3 or 4 of them, you have a 33 or a 25% chance of it being the first goal if the team is going to score 3 or 4 of them. So give me the Seth Jarvie in the first, and I'll go with Taylor as well and say he goes to one knee in celebration.
Okay.
Points to some very specific part of the stadium, and that's where his childhood friends will be sitting, and they'll be going nuts.
How's he score? I say power play.
You know what?
Power play, a little putback.
Opposite. Give me a shorty.
Oh, okay.
Give me a shorty. He's been good on the shorties recently.
He has been.
You can tell he's seeing the field well, seeing the ice well when you take one person off. So give me the shorty for Seth. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending understands you can't always pick your timing. You want to, but you can't always, right? We're awaiting any day now, any minute now, the arrival of my second child, a little daughter. My wife is really hoping it's any moment now. But that's one of those things, right? You can't pick the timing. Right, you can try and try and try, and then I don't know, maybe it's not gonna. Oh, now the baby's coming, or sometimes it's no, we're between jobs. The baby's there. You can't always pick timing. Life happens, and similar, you might need more space because you have a little bundle of joy on the way, bigger house. Maybe you need to move to be closer to family because you want to be, the village to raise your children. Whatever it is, if your family situation is telling you to move, you don't want to go, but we can't because interest rates. Instead, call Miller Lending. right? They'll hook you up with a no closing cost mortgage, no money out of your pocket, which will take some of the financial sting out of locking in a higher rate because you don't have to pay all those costs and fees and cash up front. And on top of that, if rates drop a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, when they go down, refinance, get that lower monthly rate with no fees, no costs, no mortgage additional fees that we see so often. Give them a call. They'll explain it all for you. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, easy to remember, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Coming up next, speaking of that Four Nations break in the NHL, the Canes have 3 games left before they get a couple of weeks off. What's on your wish list for these next 3 games? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
They felt that they couldn't get there with Marty Necas and Jack Drury. That's what a trade is. It wasn't going to work with those 2 guys. But perhaps with Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, it does work. And maybe that window just got a little bit bigger. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is the biggest elephant in the room. This is a new era of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
When it comes to the biggest games of all time, the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill is the road to a good time. This year for the big game, come get your appetizers, buy one, get one half off. Take out or dine in. Dine in and also score great drink specials like $5 Bloody Marys and mimosas, $3.50 Coors Banquet and Yingling Fight Bottles, $9 Yingling Personal Pitchers, and all Crown Royal flavors are just $6. It's the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill for the big game in Cary on West Chatham Street and Apex on Center Street. AbbeyRoadNC.com.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Cupid's arrow is pointing straight to Bailey's. We're here to help and make it easy for you to find the perfect gift for the one you love. Bailey's has something for everyone and every budget. We have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts for under $500, from David Yurman, Apolita, Mikimoto, Lagos, and more. And if you're looking for something extra special, we also have an amazing selection of diamond jewelry. Shop in-store or online at baileybox.com. Give her a gift that's better than chocolate or roses with the easiest and can't-miss way to make her Valentine's Day extra special with a little black and white striped box from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Located in Raleigh's Village District and Crabtree Valley Mall, also in Cary's Fenton, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Just a little reminder from me, Marcy Bailey. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Now he's coming the other way, drops it for Rantanen, his shot, he scores! Welcome to Raleigh, Mikko Rantanen! It's 2-1 on Rantanen's first with the Canes.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Shout out to all of you, 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube. We've been counting the subscribers all the way up to 15,000 because we're giving away a Seth Jarvis signed puck.
We're already to 1544.
Look at that.
Let's go.
We're giving away a Seth Jarvis puck to one of our subscribers. We're doing that to celebrate reaching 15,000, but there is a little bit of wiggle room here where it's between hitting 15,000 when we actually give away the puck, so you can slide in under the wire if you head to our YouTube right now, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe. There is a featured video there featuring many of the on-air talents. From 99.9 The Fan, myself, Dennis, Adam Gold, Victoria Vodanecker, Graham Hill, pretty much everyone aside from Paul, who was just in here with us, but Paul was there in spirit. So if you go check out that video, all the details will be in the description, and you'll know how you can potentially win a Seth Jarvis signed puck. Seth Jarvis, a member of Team Canada, get that clear this time, for the Four Nations Cup coming up to highlight the game of hockey globally, but also it is essentially a 2-week break from the NHL season, which is serious. That is a reset. That is a time to work on yourself, get healthy, all of these things. The Canes have 3 games left before that kind of couple weeks off for the Four Nations face-off. So I thought let's make a wish list. Like, what do you want to see in these next 3 games? If you were the hockey gods controlling things, pulling the strings, what would you want to see from the Canes so that 2-week break can be best used, best utilized, and set the Canes up for a hopefully deep playoff run and second half of the season thriving push towards the postseason? Now, obviously, okay, I'm going to try to be more creative than like 3 wins and 1 billion goals, but not too much. I'd like to see 3 goals from Mikko Rantanen. And it's not just like I want goals from the new flashy winger. It's not just that, although it is kind of. But also a big part of the Canes' next 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever it is getting Mikko Rantanen to sign a contract extension. Getting him to sign up to be a Carolina Hurricane for the next 8 seasons of his career, pretty much through his prime. I don't want him around all of his friends from Finland, Team Finland, his buddies, the guys that he grew up playing juniors with, and have all of them asking about, dude, you're not really producing the way you used to since you got to Carolina. How many games you been there? Oh, that's all the goals you have? Well, what's up? What's going on with the system? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you going to stay? I want it to be like, bro, since you've got – this is how Finnish people talk in my brain, in my imagination. It's not how they talk in real life. But I want to be like, bro, since you've been to Carolina, you've been lighting it up. You got to be signing the contract. So like 3 goals. Maybe a couple multi-goal. Let's get like 5 goals if I'm being greedy, right? I get to decide how this goes, right? A hat trick and then a goal in each of the other games and like 8 points. I want Mikko Rantanen to go into the Four Nations face-off on a heater just to shape the conversations that he's going to have over the next 3 weeks, right? Because, you know, friends' opinions matter. Friends' opinions matter. You know, think about like college recruiting or something like that, because that's essentially what free agency is, right? If somebody gets an offer from, I'll use the made-up school from He Got Game so we don't insult any real university. If you get an offer from Big State, right, and then you go to school the next day and you're excited, like, I got an offer from Big State, and your buddies are like, Big State's Loserville, bro. Like, yeah. What?
Go to Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, I mean, Big State. Is that your only offer? That's tough. You're probably not going to be super stoked to go to Big State just off of what your friends say. Now, I'm not saying Mikko Rantanen is as impressionable as like a 16-year-old getting one offer, but it is like you want people to be like, dude, since you got to Carolina, you're lighting it up. And it hasn't been that for a multitude of reasons, no matter how much like legitimacy behind, like, oh, everybody's been sick. Oh, it's new and chemistry and whatever, new system. Like, however legit they are, you don't want those conversations taking place. Dennis, do you have a wish list item?
I do, actually.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
So I want to see the special teams, the power play and the penalty kill, to have a combined percentage of over 100. And generally what NHL teams do when it comes to measuring how good overall your special teams are, your power play and your penalty kill. Take your power play percentage, take your penalty kill percentage, add them up. If it equals 100, you're generally overall pretty good. So, for example, if you're killing off 80% of the penalties that you're facing and you're also scoring 20% on the power play, you are basically like, that's good. You're at 100 if you add those two together. I want to see them at 105 or better these next 3 games.
Okay.
105 or better these next 3 games. That's what I want to see.
Their power play. I would love to see it before the three, or like in the next 3 games. It might just need a full 2-week reset. It might be like Geek Squad. Have you tried unplugging it for 2 weeks and plugging it back in?
Might need that.
That break might be just what the doctor ordered. I also want Scott Morrow to play well enough that nothing will be rattling him for 2 weeks, because that can also happen as well, right? If he gets pulled up and maybe has a few mental errors and gets maybe called out by Rod in the media, like something, and then it's like, oh, you don't even have hockey to play for a little bit. I guess he could. Does the AHL pause for the 4 Nations?
AHL, no.
No, okay. So maybe he could go down and keep playing there. But I don't want him sitting in like a vacuum, rattling around, just playing over and over and over a couple mistakes that rookies might make when they first get called up to the NHL. I would much rather have him like confident hitting into a little bit of a break. And
if he plays.
If he plays, yes.
If he plays.
Well, he got called up. I'd have a very confusing time if he just gets called up as a healthy scratch and goes back down.
Chicago's not playing right now. The AHL's not playing right now. They're on their All-Star break.
Then let him be on the All-Star break. Like, it'd be weird for me. And I'm not saying it'd be the weirdest thing in the history of the world. It would just be a little strange for me. That's all I'm saying. Last thing on my wish list, I put 3 things on a wish list, rule of 3s. I want Seth Jarvis to I was trying to come up with a way, like a game winner, maybe an overtime game winner, or some kind of ridiculous highlight is what I want from Seth Jarvis for everything I said before during the first goal scorer predictions. He has a star-making opportunity for Team Canada, right? Playing for your country amongst stars is an opportunity that I think he can seize, right? And he, trust me, he won't be getting the biggest usage rate on Team Canada. But if he puts together a few in that 4 Nations Cup, he can raise his Q score, his fame rating, and I want him to have momentum and confidence going into that. I think we've seen it a bunch of times where players have a big Olympics or something, and then they come back and are suddenly leveled up as a star. Just those types of things happen. So obviously this is similar to Olympics. So I want Seth Jarvis to have a highlight, a dramatic, big. You want to play it in slow motion with Chariots of Fire music behind it. Highlight leading into the 4 Nations Cup. And it's nice that he's locked up for a whole bunch of years on his contract. So no matter how awesome he is at 4 Nations, he can't come back and go, oh, yesterday's price is not today's price. And the Canes can go, yeah, darn right it is, because you signed the contract. And a lot of that's deferred money anyway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Folks, the best time of year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The starting 5 is up next. The bracketologists have updated their brackets. Not great news for UNC. Coming up.
From 32 to 2, Kansas City.
The Chiefs have won again. They have beaten the Buffalo Bills 32-29.
Philadelphia.
20, 15, 10, touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Join 99.9 The Fan on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. Super Bowl Sunday on 99.9 The Fan is presented by First Horizon Bank and Wake Men. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately. Nope, sticking to our go-to places. You mean like Sharky's. Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3. You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection. And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it. Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other? Yes!
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. This month, get 3 rooms of carpets clean, starting at $109, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Bonuses used to be everywhere. Boxes of cereal, a baker's dozen, airline upgrades, even without quadruple diamond platinum status. Life is better with the bonus. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery is adding bonus chances to multiply your win on Multiply the Cash scratch-offs. More chances than ever to win over $140 million in total prizes. Because everything is better with a bonus. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.31 to 4.86. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We had record warmth this afternoon, feeling more like mid-May. Tonight, mostly clear, the low around 40. We have a different setup in the atmosphere tomorrow. We'll have cloudy skies, colder temperatures, light rain and drizzle, a high around 50.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 134 points today to 44,556.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. If you missed it today, that's okay. Tomorrow we will be qualifying another potential big game VIP. 99.9 The Fan and Buffalo Brothers want you to be our VIP. Be listening around 4 o'clock tomorrow. The big game VIP, just for being qualified, for being like our daily winner, you get a $25 Buffalo Brothers gift card. And you have the chance to become the official big game VIP, which gets you a $300 gift card to Buffalo Brothers, a reserved table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail for this Sunday for the big game. It's all happening during, not just during our show as well. They also are qualifying potential winners for the big game VIP on Next Up with Paul Ihander and Graham and the squad every morning between 9 and 10 this week as well. With that being said, let's jump into the starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Tar Heels down 1 and on the run. R.J. Davis going to try a long 3 in transition. Count it. We were looking right down the barrel, and he splashes it home.
So the bracketologists, you would think, I love how bracketologists have become like it's like a real, like I feel like you should have to get a degree in it in somehow. Like you become a bracketologist. The bracketologists, you would think, as the season goes along, become more and more accurate, right? You learn more and more about the teams. Talking college basketball, you get more and more results, more and more data. You should get more and more accurate. So now that we've turned the calendar over to February, you start to see kind of the real shakedown of how the NCAA tournament could be set up. And Dennis, what are the bracketologists starting to tell us?
All right, so this comes from Joe Lunardi, ESPN. He updated his projected bracket as of this morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. North Carolina's on the outside looking in. And not just on the outside, like, they're on the bubble. One of the first 4 teams out. So generally the way the bubble works is you have the last 4 byes, I mean teams that don't have to go play in Dayton those first 4 games. They have the last 4 teams that are in, which right now includes Pitt.
And they are Dayton teams.
They got to
play
go
on Tuesday.
They got to go play Tuesday or Wednesday out in Dayton just to get into the field of 64. They got the first 4 out, so these are the teams just missing it. The first 4 out are Central Florida, Xavier, Arizona State, USC. Then there's the next 4. This is basically 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's Wake Forest, SMU, North Carolina, Arkansas. So right now, Joe Lunardi's projecting that there are, not only does UNC have to pass the 6 teams ahead of them, they got to go 1 more to get to Nebraska. There's basically, they got to jump 7 schools just to get into the field of 68, maybe to play in Dayton.
Okay, so if we're making this, 68 teams make the tournament, including the Dayton games, correct?
Correct.
So the next 4 out would essentially be teams 69, 70, 71, 72.
Yep.
And then beyond that would be
73,
74, and that's where UNC is.
UNC is 75.
So even further than that.
Yeah. With 2 other ACC schools between them, with SMU and Wake Forest ahead of them.
Now, I like to say this about expanding tournaments, right? Because there's always talk about even the basketball tournament getting bigger, and I hate it. But I always say, like, no matter how many, we're going to have the same reaction to Selection Sunday. We saw it in football, right? If there's 2 teams, whoever finishes 3rd is going to be furious they weren't involved. If there's 4 teams, whoever finishes 5th is going to be furious that they weren't involved. If there's 12 teams, whoever finishes 13th is going to be furious that they weren't involved. A lot of times I get it. A lot of times I'm like, it really is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder. I want to be clear. If UNC doesn't play significantly better down the stretch, you know why you're not in the NCAA tournament, right? It's not, they're jobbing us. Why? They just like the small, everybody likes the SEC. No. Some years you can have that argument. There's a lot of years where, like, Syracuse, I'm like, how do they not get in? There's always on the bubble, and I don't know. It just seems like they should get in more often than they do. But North Carolina, if you don't get in this year, and the bracketologists are predicting you're not even one of the first 4 snubs, you know why. It's because you lost to Stanford, right? You know why. It's because you got drubbed. It's because even the games that you win against the overmatched opponents, they're too close. Like, you know why. It's important to be honest, because then you might change, right? And we heard Hubert Davis on his coach's show yesterday talking about changes that need to come, hiring a GM and things like that. There were changes that needed to happen a while ago, but I guess better late than never. That's number 5?
That is number 5.
Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together. Spread's 11. Oregon's down by 12. They're on the 45-yard line with no timeouts.
It's interesting to see what Dennis comes up with for rejoins when the topic is a little unusual. Gambling, the issue of the investigation of nefarious actors within sports gambling is starting to center its focus on a team here in the state of North Carolina. Investigations are taking place, right? So it's all alleged. It's all maybe who's a what's it, just following the clues at this point. But the same kind of ring of people that have been linked to Jonte Porter, who admitted to manipulating outcomes in the NBA with the Raptors, Terry Rozier, who's currently being investigated with connections to NBA games that he participated in while a member of the Charlotte Hornets. That same crew is loosely now being investigated for a North Carolina A&T game this season where there was some unusual betting occurrences. It is a North Carolina A&T against Delaware game, although I do want to be clear, it appears to be that they are focusing on the North Carolina A&T side. The Delaware side was just a innocent bystander in this one who may have gotten a win or at least a couple points that maybe they shouldn't have. Allegedly. Here's the conversation. And North Carolina A&T also had a few players who have been let me see here. 3 players were basically removed from the program due to a violation of well-established team rules. We don't know what that is. They did not comment to ESPN on the story. Declined further comment, I should say, citing privacy laws. 2 things. 1, if this happened, it is a big bummer. College kids make stupid decisions. It happens. Not saying they don't deserve the consequences. I'm just saying I tend to feel a little bit worse for them when they face those consequences because college kids make dumb decisions. I had college teammates that got kicked out of school for different reasons and it popped up at other schools, right? Second chances happen, but it's you make a dumb decision. You got to face the consequences, but you wish you didn't have to. You wish they didn't have to. You wish they didn't make the dumb decision, I'm saying. Schools have to be all over this. They have to, once a week, remind the players the consequences of getting involved in any kind of gambling. They have to. They have to. Because of everything I just said, college kids are dumb. It's just true. And you gotta, I don't want to pretend like they're not adults. They make their own decisions. So, yes. But at the same time, if I'm running a program and I don't want them to get in trouble, you gotta make sure they're extremely aware.
I remember when I was coaching, again, this is Division III, they were, some of the administrations I worked under were super hard on reminding everyone, do not gamble, do not bet on sports, do not put yourself in any sort of situation. Again, this is Division III, but it was also you cannot, because there's just NCAA rule, you cannot pay money to do like a bracket, like an office pool bracket type thing. Like you can't do that in your own team where people pay money. You can't do that. If you want to do it for fun and nothing is put up front in terms of monetary, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. But you cannot do anything where there's any sort of financial, like where you're putting money down. You could not do it. They harped on it all the time. Like we're Division III. D1 school should be even more onto it, especially with legalized sports betting.
And here's why: like if these A&T players did something, it's a big if. I think they're going to get quite sternly dealt with, and then every other team has to use them as the look. They will really suspend you, eliminate your eligibility, whatever. And I'll use a specific example on that. My sophomore year at the University of Delaware, there was a party thrown at a bar, and that's how like so many bad stories start. A party was thrown at a bar. And unbeknownst to one of my teammates, who was an All-American who went on to play in the NFL for a while, whoever was promoting the party put his face on the poster and said it was his birthday. Now, it was his birthday, but he had no idea about the party being thrown. And they charged a cover for the party. NCAA somehow found out about this and ruled him ineligible. This was in the middle of our run. We ended up losing in the national championship. It was in the playoffs. And he was ineligible starting on like a Monday. We played on a Saturday. And when I tell you, I don't know what lawyers got involved or whatever, but they had to like quickly petition. There were big things involved. And on like Saturday morning, we found out he was going to be eligible. And this is one of our better players. Like he ended up playing in the NFL for a long time. And it was very nerve-wracking for our team because we wanted to win. And he did play, and we did win that game. But the next year, when I tell you the coaches did like a dramatic retelling of this story to all of us to say, like, you can't accept money for anything. You can't endorse. This was pre-NIL where any extra benefit meant you were ineligible. Like, we were on the phone with his mother in tears, and he was groveling saying, playing well in this could turn me into an NFL draft pick and all of this stuff. And it was taken away from him. Like, so you have to make sure you are actively do that for gambling. Do that for gambling. Bring in actors to recreate somebody having their dreams ripped from them to make sure your players are aware of this. Because it's too darn easy to bet a ton on a UFC fight, get in a hole, and have somebody say, you can get out of the hole without having to pay us any money. All you got to do is make sure you hit that under in passing yards. And then it's you get in that way, and then you're in. And then it's, we'll tell somebody that you did that for us last game, unless in this game you make sure you hit that under in completions. And you're stuck there and you can't get out. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Wilson. He's going to get sacked back at the 38-yard line. Myles Garrett.
So in the last couple of weeks here, starting with, by the way, Mikko Rantanen getting traded from the Colorado Avalanche to the Carolina Hurricanes, the NHL flurry of trades, big names, crisscrossing the country. NBA, trade deadline's coming up in a couple days. Luka Doncic, right? Anthony Davis, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, crisscrossing all over the country. Apparently the NFL wants to get involved. The NFL's like, we can't even do trades right now, but we'd like to get involved. Myles Garrett put out a statement. He is the Defensive Player of the Year, right? Reigning Defensive Player of the Year. They haven't announced it for this year, but I think he was last year.
But one in 2023.
Defensive Player of the Year from the Browns has requested a trade. Cooper Kupp, the one-time Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL, a handful of years ago, led the NFL in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and receptions. He's been told by the Rams that they are going to trade him and work with him to find a new destination. There's some, in what some considered a weak free agency class, if those guys are available, they kind of move right to the front of the line as far as contenders looking for impact players to add to their roster. Myles Garrett. Dennis, you know him extremely well because he's in division with your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's right.
Many are starting at the Khalil Mack trade from a handful of years ago as a starting point. Is he worth, I'll call him 2 random first? Because the hard part is the Khalil Mack trade happened right before the season. So you didn't know where the first-round picks were going to be, right? So they traded, to the Bears, was it? Raiders. He's played for a bunch of different places. It was like 2 first-round picks, random. Could be anywhere in the first. Obviously, like if you're giving up the 9th pick, that would be worth more than a random first. But either way, 2 random firsts. Is Myles Garrett worth it?
I would have to be picking pretty low in the first round, and I also got to make sure that I get him more than just the 2 years left on his contract. I got to have some guarantees in there. But if I get Myles Garrett plus another pick back, and for 2 firsts, I'm going to be picking late in the first round, yeah, why not?
You'd need like a 4th back or something? You're going to walk away over
like
a
4th?
Third? Yeah, I don't know. See, the other thing
he's 29 years old, and he only has 2 years left on his contract. I got to have some guarantees. So I'm giving up 2 first-round picks that he's going to be on my team for at least the next 4 years.
I assume the extension would be agreed upon as part of the deal. See, I don't know if the Browns have to trade him. The Browns are going to stink next year regardless.
Oh, they're going to stink.
Calling a bluff and saying, I'm not going to trade you, why not, right? Like, hey, if we don't think we get a fair market offer or even an above fair market offer, we're not trading you. It's completely within the realm of possibility. Cooper Kupp, you feel for it. I mean, it's been injuries. He hasn't been as effective as maybe, he was at the peak, but I don't know. He just seems like he wanted to be a Ram the rest of his career, and I like one-team guys. I hope CeeDee Lamb's a one-team guy. I hope Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. It just seems cooler when you're a one-team guy. I don't know why I only named wide receivers there. I think it's cooler for every position. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Rebound pulled in by Lubin. Here come the Tar Heels the other way. Oh my goodness, Ian Jackson with a tomahawk in transition over the top of Salas.
So here's what happened yesterday. Hubert Davis, Tar Heel Radio Network, had his coaches show. And they got to talking right after that Duke game. You know what's going to happen. They got to talking about what's going wrong. Why isn't this? How is this happening? And all that sort of stuff. And Hubert started talking about changes that he's going to be making to the program. Hubert being the head coach of the Tar Heels. Dennis, let's just jump straight to the clip that we have titled Shares the Positions He's Going to Add. Hubert Davis started talking about the staffing positions he's going to add and how the old setup isn't really working.
We're going to hire a GM. We need, a director of marketing and fundraising for NIL, for program needs. There needs to be video coordinator with graphics and recruiting coordinator, all those different types of stuff that have to be built out, whether it's, from specific hires or grad students, but the old model for Carolina basketball just doesn't work. It's not sustainable. It has to build out because there's so many things in play with NIL, the transfer portal, agents, international players. You just need a bigger staff to be able to maintain things, and you need a bigger staff so I can do what I'm supposed to be doing, is that coaching basketball.
I have questions. That is frustrating for me. My first question is, who is responsible for those positions not already being established, filled, and I'm talking years ago? Why did you have to get to this point to suddenly start adding positions that other schools have been adding over time consistently? The reason why the old way or old structure, I don't know exact words, of Carolina basketball just doesn't work anymore. Well, yeah. What made you think that there would be tremendous changes to college sports and you wouldn't have to change with it? Under, we know the UNC coaches, right? Under Dean Smith, he didn't need a director of NIL fundraising. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
NIL fundraising didn't exist. Imagine sitting around, everybody else has, internet is a thing, and you're going you know what? It took me 4 years to realize the old structure without modems is going to be tough. It's internet is a new thing, so you get the thing that goes with the new thing. You get the modem that makes internet work.
I guess I do need text messaging.
We're going to need somebody to look at, recruiting the transfer portal. I don't know. The old North Carolina way didn't even have something to do that. And I'm going the transfer portal is new. When the portal becomes a thing, you get the position to deal with the portal. When the new innovation happens, you change with it. Mm-hmm. You don't wait till it doesn't work horrendously, and then you go, something's not working here. We're going to have to look into it. You got new things going on. Deal with it. And this is the craziest part, and I didn't realize it. The women's basketball team has had a GM at UNC for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're aware.
They're crushing it right now.
You're
top 20 team.
You're aware that the position exists in the world. It's not like you just learned of GMs. There's one in your facility. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one! Will play it away out in front. Jarvis, he scores! Jordan Martinook, heavy lifting behind the net, and Seth Jarvis snaps it home, and it's 4-0. Carolina throwing haymakers early here in the third.
Canes in action tonight in Winnipeg. Now, I said this earlier. I'll reiterate it one more time. Winnipeg's good. They're the number one team in the standings across the entire NHL. They are number one in most goals per game scored and number one in fewest goals per game allowed. And that right there is basically what you're trying to do. Like, that is checking every box to the best possible ability, which means today is going to be a real test for the Canes, but that's why you play the game, right? You don't play the game to play bad teams. You play the game to test yourself against the best, and that's what they're going to do. What I'm looking forward to is seeing what this team looks like as they get healthy. Since we've had Mikko Rantanen as a member of the Canes and Taylor Hall as a member of the Canes, pretty much as soon as they showed up in town, different players have been out with sicknesses. Different players have been playing at less than 100% with sickness. The flu or whatever it is, whatever illness is running through the locker room has been passed around like hotcakes. So we haven't seen, like, you know, I always feel bad when a GM puts together a roster that on paper looks complete, and then somebody like gets hurt in preseason, and then a key contender gets hurt week 3, or key contributor gets hurt week 3, and they just, like, the stars never align for the GM to see the complete and total beauty of what they thought they had assembled. I'm getting kind of that feeling for the Mikko Rantanen Taylor Hall trade. It's like you put it together with a goal here, and you haven't gotten it yet. Now, hopefully you will by the end of the year. Hopefully you will sooner rather than later. But looking at the way they skated at morning skate this morning, what is it? Aho, Blake, Rantanen, first line. That's good to see for like multiple days in a row, right? That's good to see for a little bit of continuity. We still don't know exactly what's going on with Scott Morrow, who was recalled from the AHL. He was skating as the 7th defenseman. But Hall, Kotkaniemi, Svechnikov on that second line, we saw glimpses of it when they first got put together. They were buzzing, and then Svech was hurt. Hall was sick. Like, the Kotkaniemi's still playing well, but it's I would love to see tonight as a night where it's like, this is what we thought the lines would look like once we made the trade. With that being said, again, Scott Morrow being recalled from the AHL throws that wrench in it. It might be an 11-7 day. It might be Jaska, who's been sick, isn't 100% ready. So Morrow will skate as the extra defenseman, and they'll go 11 forward, 7 defensemen, in which case there's no chance that was how they envisioned their roster when they made the trade, which will be a bit of a bummer against Winnipeg. But that's my goal. That's we talked, actually, maybe that should have been my wish list item for the 3 games before the Four Nations face-off break. I want to see what the roster was supposed to look like when they made the trade. I want to get everybody out there. I mean, no one's 100% healthy at this point in an NHL season, but just like good enough to go and play for like 3 straight games. I want to see Hall, Kotkaniemi, and Svechnikov play through stuff, right? Have hot streaks and slumps and play well and not well and everything else, and see how they develop. Martinook, Stahl, Jarvis, we know what that looks like. Jackson, Blake, Aho, Rantanen. On paper, I mean, good gracious. I want to see them light up the scoreboard, but they haven't really gotten the opportunity. So that's what I'm looking for tonight. What time's the game? I need to figure out.
It's a 7:30 Storm watch. It should be 8 o'clock Eastern time because it's out in Central Time in Winnipeg. The home of Seth Jarvis.
Of course, Central Time, Winnipeg. I know exactly where that is on a map. The worst person in geography in the history of the world.
You are terrible with
It's
geography.
North. It is north of here, yes?
Go up.
It is north of here, correct?
Go up and then make a left.
That's fine. I can figure that out. I'm bad with directions. They're at Winnipeg. They're at Minnesota on Thursday, so it's a nice little road trip for them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We still have to grab our numbers game contestants, and we will do that right after we hear from Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine this time next week you could be credit card debt free. Just think about that. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game contestants, and the prize for today, as it will be all week, is a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any of the 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. The number to call, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants to play the numbers game. Call in now, 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Here's Aho with a chance, and he scores! And Sebastian Aho has tied it at 2.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7:30. Puck drop at 8.
He scores! Jackson Blake gets the stick to it, and Carolina scores on the power play to take a 3-2 lead.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
SoundStation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know SoundStation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, SoundStation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. SoundStation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And the Kick of Destiny is back, and this is the week for the Kick of Destiny. Every Manning for himself, because during the pregame show for Super Bowl 59, Eli v. Peyton live, 1 field goal, family bragging rights forever. And you, if you pick the right Manning, could earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. They are the official partner of Super Bowl 59. Who's going to make the kick? 21 and over and present in North Carolina. No purchase necessary. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs? No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. As I said earlier, we have a Adam and Eve prize, a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any of the 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. The contestants for today are Connor and Garner and Brad in Durham. They will battle it out in the numbers game. First, we have to decide who gets to go first. And to do that, we ask a question. Dennis picks his favorite answer. That person gets to go first. Connor, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So earlier today, as part of our ladder challenge, we received a trophy. So now we have an actual physical trophy in a competition that Dennis and I do every day. So inspired by that, the question is, what is the best trophy in sports? Could be a rivalry trophy, a championship trophy, a medal, a piece of clothing you get if you win, just something that you get if you win something. What is the best in sports?
My favorite trophy is going to be it's the MVP, the Nickelodeon valuable player that Mitchell Trubisky won when he played horrible in that playoff game.
I think you get slime for that too, right? So is that all included? All right. Hey, I like the creative thinking there, Connor. We'll see if it holds up. Brad in Durham, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, Brad from Durham. The same question to you. What is the best trophy, prize, medal, something that you get for winning something?
I'm going to have to go Green Jacket Masters for sure.
Green Jacket in the Masters, that is a very solid answer. I was thinking about this, just throwing other ones that I thought we might get. Stanley Cup, gold medal, old oaken bucket, Paul Bunyan's axe. Could have been a Super Bowl trophy. The Lombardi trophy would have been pretty cool. There's a lot of good ones there. But instead we got the Nickelodeon MVP trophy with the slime and the Green Jacket, which is obviously going to be a top seed in a lot of rankings.
Well, the correct answer is the Stanley Cup. That is the best trophy in all of sports. But this is a tough one.
A gold medal to me is kind of cool.
Gold medal was number 2 on my list. This is actually really interesting because this is such a fun dynamic between these two trophies. That
really says more about you as the chooser than it
I
does.
know. Well, as someone who grew up watching a ton of Nickelodeon as a kid, the Nickelodeon, that the orange blimp is iconic for me. There's that, but I mean, the Green Jacket is a classic thing. I mean, so I'm gonna go with the Green Jacket on this one, but I love the pull of the Nickelodeon Valuable Player Trophy with the orange blimp with the slime on the stand. That's a good pull, though. I like that one a lot.
Brad and Durham, you get to go first. Connor, don't worry. You'll have your chance. Just stay on the line for a minute or two. Brad, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories are NFL players that were drafted in 2018, NFL players that were drafted in 2005, NBA players that were a member of the 2021 Tokyo Olympic team, the pandemic team, or NHL Hurricanes only?
Let's go NFL players 2018.
All right, these are all players, as I stated, that were drafted in 2018. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears.
2.
Correct. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings.
14.
Correct. Calvin Ridley, Tennessee Titans.
11.
Incorrect. Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens.
89.
Correct. Michael Gallup, Dallas Cowboys.
13.
Correct. Calvin Ridley, Tennessee Titans.
Pass.
Calvin Ridley, Tennessee Titans. That's all we got.
Calvin Ridley, Tennessee Titans. Man.
We've had more players with this number stump people than I think any other number. He wears number 0. Number 0. It's just people, if you've been watching sports your whole life, it's relatively new. It just doesn't come to you in the moment. But you got DJ Moore, you got Sam Darnold, you got Mark Andrews, you got Michael Gallup, which is a nice pull. You end up with 4. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and stay on the line.
All right.
That brings us to Connor and Garner. Connor, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories are NFL players drafted in 2005, since you made the Nickelodeon reference. I mean, feels like that's an era that you would know. NBA pandemic team, that's all the 2021 Tokyo Olympians, or NHL Hurricanes only.
I'm going to go with players drafted in 05.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You do need all 5 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
0 questions.
Perfect. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets.
12.
Incorrect. Brandon Jacobs, New York Giants.
47.
Incorrect. What was that?
47.
Incorrect. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets.
8.
Correct. Darren Sproles, Philadelphia Eagles.
43.
Correct. Vincent Jackson, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
39.
Incorrect. Brandon Jacobs, New York Giants.
27.
Correct. Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons.
84.
Correct. Vincent Jackson, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was having a really hard time hearing you for Brandon Jacobs. You were saying 47 or 37, but it was 27. You eventually got it. Aaron Rodgers, 8. You stumbled on that one, but you knew it right away. Darren Sproles, 43. Vincent Jackson, 83 is the number we were looking for. You said 39 there, so I don't think you were that close. Nice pull.
About Steven Jackson.
Yep, that would have been, I think, 39. Although I don't think he played for the Bucs. Either way, Roddy White was a nice pull with 84. You got 4. Unfortunately, the tie goes to whoever goes first. So you were close, but you're going to come up just short. Hopefully you had a good time, though.
That was a great time. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. That means the winner is Brad in Durham. Brad, congratulations.
Let's go. Thank you.
You win the $50 gift card. Go ahead and stand in the line. Dennis will grab the info he needs to grab to make sure you get your prize.
All righty.
Cool. Congrats again. I feel kind of bad. He lost because he said Nickelodeon was the best trophy. Because tie goes to who goes first. We decide first with the answer. Well, then, play to the judge here, I guess.
I don't know. That was playing to the judge.
Don't go for jokes. Go for like what you think's going to get picked because could end up being the difference. That is pretty funny. Quickly, we hit 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube. So if you want to win a Seth Jarvis signed puck, head to our YouTube right now. 99.9 The Fan. There's a featured video explaining how the rules, the details on how you can win a Seth Jarvis signed puck. We are celebrating 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan's YouTube channel. But you need to be subscribed to win. So you know what to do. You got to go there and subscribe, watch the video, do what they need to do, and then you might just get a Seth Jarvis signed puck. Our small way of expressing our gratitude for those of you that have helped make that online YouTube community pretty awesome, and we are going to continue building it to hopefully make it more awesome as the time rolls on. Tonight there is a Canes game, but it is a little bit of a different time than we're used to. So just to continue reminding you of that, Canes at Winnipeg. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. 8 o'clock puck drop for that one, so 7:30 Stormwatch with Adam Gold. Like I said, it's a little bit later, so just don't tune in at 7:15 and go, oh, must not be a game today. It's just a little bit later because they're playing out there in Winnipeg, and it is a big game. Winnipeg is not only number 1 in the standings in the NHL, they're number 1 in a whole bunch of stats. Goals scored per game, goals allowed per game, all that sort of thing. So Canes are going to have to bring their A game, and hopefully they brought it with them all the way up there to Winnipeg, the home of Seth Jarvis, who you can win the signed puck of, remember? See how it's all coming back around? It's a good day for some good hockey. I'll put it that way. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis is going to have a message here for you in 3, 2, 1. Here's Dennis Cox.
Folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Look, I want people to win. I love when I see other people have success and win. And I want you to go online right now to caniacsbike.com and enter for your chance to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Yes, I said that correctly. A custom motorcycle, all painted out in beautiful Carolina Hurricanes colors, logos, decals, the whole thing. Custom made right here from Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. Custom painted by Shiny Side Paint, because Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, Law Tigers, your Canes, the Carolina Hurricanes, have all teamed up once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. As I mentioned a moment ago, just go to caniacsbike.com for your chance to win this bike. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, imagine on beautiful days like today, 75 degrees, sunny, gorgeous, just cruising around town on truly one-of-a-kind bike. It is one of one, folks, and it can be yours. Go to caniacsbike.com for your chance to win, for your chance to enter to win this bike. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be giving away the final home game of the season, so deadline to enter is April 6th, but don't wait around. Go ahead and do it now. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We still have to get into a little bit of the gambling issue. It's starting to focus, starting to strike nearer and nearer to where we are. Sports gambling coming up.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Is your plumbing outdated or just not getting the job done? Call Newcomb & Company to see how we can help get your home operating at peak performance. Our experienced plumbers can repair or replace faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SALE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SALE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SALE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly, and I want to help out all the fellas out there. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Bailey's Fine Jewelry wants to set you up to look good like a great point guard getting his shooting guard all the points and all the glory. They've curated a Valentine's gift guide to make your shopping experience seamless and impressive. We're talking top designers, heart-shaped jewelry, Bailey's collections that are known for their exceptional quality and personalized service. So visit BaileyBox.com for their Valentine's gift guide and pick out a well-chosen piece of jewelry that's not just a gift, it's a lasting memory. You could go with the flowers or the chocolate, but they'll be gone in a month. I prefer to think in championships, right? Banners, they last forever. Jewelry, that will as well, especially when you look at the necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets with a heart theme in mind from Bailey Fine Jewelry. It's all at BaileyBox.com. Be sure to check out their Valentine's gift guide for more information.
No good. Long rebound, Cadeau. Touch pass to Jackson in transition. Big step through and finish from the right side.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will jump into how the investigations into nefarious actors within the sports gambling sphere starting to hit a little close to home in a second. But I can't compliment and thank you for creating an online community in our YouTube all day. We've reached 15,000 subscribers. And then when there's a solid question or a solid advancement in one of our conversations in our YouTube comments, ignore it, right? We have to bring it on. So, Dennis, what are the people saying?
This actually comes from Mega Tar Heel. Just asked this on our YouTube live chat. A lot of people are saying fire Hubert Davis. So wants to know who Tim thinks, Tim, UNC should replace Hubert Davis with if they happen to move on from Hubert Davis.
Well, first of all, I love that that's the question because that's always my first question when people are calling to fire somebody. I'm like, are you sure there's somebody better you can replace them with? Because there's nothing more, I don't want to say hilarious, but kind of maybe cynically amusing than when there's a big dramatic firing and then it's like, we don't have anyone better, do we? Cowboys. Here's where I would start if I'm UNC. And this is what I said yesterday about UNC. Remember who you are, right? Don't settle. You're the University of North Carolina. Think of what you did when you hired Roy Williams. Roy Williams was a successful coach at Kansas. And you just took him. You just said, you were an assistant here, so we would like to have you back now. And you just took him from Kansas. So don't feel like you're overstepping your bounds by calling the Alabama coach if you want Nate Oates. Right? As great as Alabama's been recently, they're not Kansas. If I had my druthers, and this was a name that was brought up by, I think it was The Athletic, perhaps. Like if you were, it was Brendan Marks, I believe, in a mailbag. If you were going to move on from Hubert Davis, where would you look? He said the first couple names you call would be Nate Oates, and there was one other that was another college coach.
Nate Oates, the head coach at Alabama.
At Alabama.
Billy Donovan, the head coach of the Chicago Bulls.
That's the one that
who won a couple national championships with Florida.
That's the one that my ears went, ooh. Billy Donovan, granted, he's doing some things in the NBA, but guess what? He's the Chicago Bulls coach, right? That's where he's at right now. Guess what the Chicago Bulls just did? They just traded Zach LaVine to the Kings and basically with their actions said, we're not trying to win for a while. Let's go ahead and get these picks up. Let's try to get something going with the young guys. Billy Donovan might not be like, you know what? Let's make a 7-year plan for when we want to win here in Chicago. And on top of that, he's one of the best college basketball coaches of the last 20 years. 30 years. How long has it been since those back-to-back? No, it's 20 years. What was it, 06 and 07? He won back-to-back with the Florida Gators. And all he's done is learn how to coach professionals. Guess what? NIL is kind of making college basketball players. He's a legendary college coach that's been coaching millionaires for the past handful of years. Billy Donovan, if I had my druthers, if I could make my pick, that's where I would spend most of my time. That's where I would spend most of my time. By the way, the other one was, Scott Drew at Baylor. That was also mentioned as a name you might call. He's got a national championship at Baylor. Don't be afraid to go be like, hey, we're the Tar Heels. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Transitioning here quickly. For those of you that didn't hear it earlier, North Carolina A&T is at the center of some investigations, their basketball team. There's a game specifically against Delaware, my Blue Hens, although that is not the part of the story. There's a game where there's some suspicious betting activity on the game that's been noticed, and there's an investigation into a gambling ring that involves some people that have already been connected to NBA points or stat shaving situations. It's all alleged. It's all ifs at this point. Here's where I would be worried if I'm North Carolina A&T. There's a saying that I heard from Rob Guerrero, who covers the Niners. He heard it from Mike Florio, so this is like a passing along of a saying. The saying is, excuses get made for the stars, examples get made of the scrubs. I'm not calling North Carolina A&T a scrub, but it is, if this situation were happening at, I'm just going to pick a big money school, Ohio State. at Kentucky, wherever, I think the NCAA would move very quickly to punish the player, and they would move very quickly to sweep this, get it into the past as quick as that. I'm not saying they wouldn't punish, but it would be quick. It would be maybe not as punishing, and they would move the heck on. North Carolina A&T not being, for lack of a better, like a top big money, television rights, all of that sort of thing school, it's very easy to throw the book at North Carolina A&T. So then you can look at the Kentuckys and the Ohio States and everybody else in the world and say, if you guys get caught up in this, that's what we're capable of. You make an example out of North Carolina A&T. I would be very worried if this ends up being something that actually took place.
And the timing of them suspending three players, two of them being like two of their top guys.
For what they called a violation of well-established team rules.
I mean, again, maybe that's a coincidence in terms of timing, but it's easy to put your antennas up and go, red flag.
And again, if it's true, the school has to almost scapegoat the players and just immediately distance themselves, and
which might be the case.
Yeah, because it's a unfortunate situation in a bunch of different ways if it ends up being true. It also is like, not only do you make an example out of it, it becomes a cautionary tale, right? College students, which, by the way, and one more thing. We have a couple minutes here. I don't think this is because sports gambling's been made legal. I think it's probably been happening. Gambling's been around for a long time. If you don't believe me, I got a guy, right? Like, if you don't believe me, I know a guy who knows a guy. Sports gambling's been around for a long time. It's been pretty darn pervasive. Trust me, the books that advertise on Super Bowl Sunday are not the ones that are pressuring kids to do, like, they're the ones that are regulating. So it's don't blame legal sports gambling on this. It's actually probably the reason why things are getting caught. But
yes, it is.
But that's a story for another day. The fact of the matter is, athletes have to understand that if you get involved in situations like this, if you make decisions like this, there's a chance, maybe even a likelihood, we don't know, that you're going to really upend your life in a way that you don't want to upend your life. And if it takes the fear of that to keep kids away from the sports gambling, away from all of that, then I guess you got to do it. But education becomes a thing. You have to make sure the players know what they are and aren't allowed to do, and err on the side of, if it feels wrong, it is wrong, don't do it. Have somebody on campus they can talk to say, I'm in a situation. Have somebody like that. That is all necessary, because you get mixed up with the wrong people on the wrong side of gambling, you can get yourself into some bad situations. And it's getting closer. I mean, there's a Major League Baseball umpire that I believe just lost his job because he was, quote, supposedly sharing an account with a friend who was betting on baseball. I'm not saying what that sounds like to me, but it doesn't necessarily pass the sniff test on my side. There's a lot of situations going on, and you have to be very careful. That's how we will move to Overdrive. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. We'll get to some old school sports conversation. Why is a team losing? That's what we'll talk about. UNC not playing up to their usual standards. Their coach, Hubert Davis, had some comments yesterday on his coach's show. We talked about it earlier. You'll hear that conversation to start Overdrive. Canes tonight, 8 o'clock puck drop, 7:30 Stormwatch. Enjoy the game. It's a big one on the road at Winnipeg. You can hear it right here at 99.9 The Fan. We'll break it down tomorrow. Until tomorrow, everybody, subscribe to our YouTube and have a great night.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by